Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of The Shadow of the Silver Mane. We took a week off, I believe because it was Thanksgiving. Sure. Regardless, we're back and the gang's all in Stormwind. Not together, but baby steps, we're getting there. Well, before we get into the usual stuff and things, dear viewers, as usual, this episode is posted on my channel, Teeironor. The next episode shall be posted on Skoll Shorties channel. All our links are in the description below. The episode after that shall be posted on Sir Thompshire's channel, then back on mine, and so on and so forth. Now, let's see what... let's have these people, lovely people, introduce themselves and their characters as usual. I've wrote some dice in the background, and the dice have decided that Sir Thompshire should go ahead and introduce himself and his character first. Could you please go ahead, Thompshire?
Sure. Hello. As always, I'll be playing Aaran, the traveling soulsword that is now back in Stormwind and not in a purple wasteland, being crushed by big robots or being chased by toilet paper. So, yeah. Go back to Stormwind, where we are also in, so as always. So, yeah, at least we're home, I guess.
That toilet paper remark was slightly racist. I mean, one of your friends is also an ethereal.
He is that, so.
Okay. Thank you very much, Thompshire. I said Benjamin. Thompshire. Thank you again. Next, according to the dice, we would have Zelris. Could you please go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, good evening. I play Lyri, the jailed elf who's currently in jail. Again, for like the fourth time so far in this series. I added a +1 to my sneaky and rethemed one of my stunts. And that's about it.
For those of you who don't remember, because of some shenanigans, Lyri's stats got rearranged, so overall she was a little bit behind everyone else, like in terms of like total stats. So I've been like drip feeding, I guess, quote unquote level ups to Lyri to catch her up to everyone else. And this time she put a point in sneaky, as she said. The stunt she redefined works in practical terms more or less the same. It's just that instead of a flintlock pistol, she now uses void magic. Okay, thank you very much, Zelris. Next, we would have Skoll Shorties. Could you please go ahead and introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, hello. I am Skoll Shorties, and I am playing Captain Buhd, who is finally free from the terror and nightmare that was the Nether Storm after being hounded for apparently 12 hours by Fel Reaver. Buhd never wants to go back there, but he also made a promise that he would to help out his dragon friends. But at least he gets some respite in Stormwind for a little bit, which he will very much enjoy, because Nether Storm was a complete nightmare for Buhd, and somehow he survived getting crushed by a Fel Reaver too. So, yeah.
I mean, you did. To be fair, you didn't promise you'd go back. The agreement was basically, we're gonna reassemble the group and then talk amongst ourselves if we want to help you or not.
I guess that's fair. Buhd will still be like, yeah, we should help them, even though he, hates the Nether Storm. He still feels obligated to help them.
Sure, and that's commendable. I was just saying that you're not obligated, if that makes sense. Okay. But pedantry aside, thank you once again, Skoll. And let's have now DoomGoblin introduce himself and his character. Could you please go ahead, DoomGoblin?
Yeah, hello. I play Captain Bladebeard, who currently has 3 magical cards left, and we know that one of them would make him very rich, one would make his greatest wish come true, and the third one is unknown. It's probably something really bad though, but yeah, only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out, indeed. Thank you very much, DoomGoblin. I'm looking forward to you finding out, I guess. So, last time, stuck in perilous situations, our heroes' fortunes continue to rise and fall. Lyri and Embersorrow, while taking a short rest in Stormwind's underground tunnels with Captain Bladebeard, received a sending message from Garruk. The old warlock, who was possessing the body of a demon sorceress, informed the Blood Oath that the Burning Legion had captured Tomo and Satea, but lost them to the Void Ethereals. Lyri informed Bladebeard of this, and the two were divided on their next course of action. First things first, they decided to check up on the ogres Lyri had stashed, and that's a generous term, on the bottom of Stormwind Harbor. On their way through the tunnels, the two stumbled upon the Tortolan Hardtep. After offering more vague advice and revealing that our party's old companion Shallan was also somehow connected with the quote-unquote faithful, he agreed to guide our heroes to Stormwind Harbor. Once arrived, seeing the heavy guard presence following the incidents that took place earlier, Lyri decided to go on ahead. After being captured once, she eventually reached the ogres and lifted them up to the surface, laying them on the docks. This flashy display attracted the attention of the guards and Andromath, the High Sorcerer of Stormwind. After a brief scuffle, Lyri surrendered herself to the authorities and admitted to being responsible for the earlier deaths of 20 guardsmen and mages. Unsurprisingly, she was arrested and was personally escorted by Andromath to the stockades. Captain Bladebeard, meanwhile, left in the underground with Gurren and Hardtep, invited the Tortolan to draw from the ethereal deck. The first card, Fool, informed the duo that one of the remaining cards would apparently grant their greatest wish. The second card, Comet, caused a massive explosion that nearly killed them. Eventually, they noticed that Lyri had been taken hostage. Hardtep promised to gather the quote-unquote faithful and start a bloodbath the next night to liberate the Blood Oath before departing. As for Captain Buhd, and Benjamin Aaran, still wandering the Netherstorm, they encountered the blue dragon Teeironor, guardian and leader of the local Nether Dragons, and someone Teeironor had said could provide them aid. A very suspicious individual, Teeironor treated our heroes coolly, however, and demanded information from them regarding their activities in the Netherstorm and other factions' plans and status. Our heroes suggested, given the fact that the Sun Fury, the Legion, and the Ethereum had each suffered heavy losses very recently, that the best plan would be to strike quickly before they could recover. The Blue Dragon was still reluctant to heroes' assist, and so used the spell to communicate with Teeironor to ask for her input. Teeironor soon reached the conclusion that our party was skilled in solving problems that they caused themselves. Since Buhd and Benjamin weren't entirely sure whether to help with the Netherstorm situation or not, the three decided that the Blue Dragon should teleport our heroes back to Stormwind, where they would retrieve Bladebeard and Lyri, and then make a collective decision whether to help or not, with a deadline of 10 to 12 hours. As discussed, the two were then teleported to the northern outskirts of Stormwind. So, just as a little bit of general overview, for like 3 out of 4 people in the party, well, technically the entire party, but one of the party members is like unaware of this. 3 out of 4 people, or all of the people, have some deadlines that they kind of have to stick to. Buhd and Benjamin, you guys know that you have like between 10 to 12 hours to like give Teeironor your reply of, yeah, we're gonna help, or no, we're not gonna help. And Bladebeard is aware that he, well, has to do something, or I guess he could do nothing at all, it's up to him, or the quote-unquote faithful will start a bloodbath in the next night over to liberate Lyri. So, I suppose my question would be, since we didn't really establish this off-screen, which of you would you guys like to start with first? You guys, like, there's, unlike previous sessions, there's no, I don't think anyone's like, oh, Buhd and Benjamin are like 1 hour behind everyone else or whatever. You guys are more or less in the same spot in the timeline, if that makes sense. So it's entirely up to personal preference at this point. Any thoughts?
I mean, if no one has anything against it, we can like roll for it.
Sure.
Make it random.
Sure. Give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna roll a d4 then, a d4 dice. 1 is Benjamin, 2 is Bladebeard, 3 is Buhd, and 4 is Lyri. Okay? Still says rolling the dice on my end. I don't know which dice came up.
3.
So Buhd, meaning Buhd and Benjamin. Okay. So, Buhd and Benjamin. What's up with you guys? You were more or less teleported to the northern outskirts of Stormwind. You have to like pass through the outer walls to like get back into the city again. There's a gate that you can go through, so like you don't have to like scale the walls or whatever. But yeah, you're back on Azeroth. You're out from the scary place, the desolate place, and you have a deadline to adhere to. But otherwise, the world's your oyster. What's up with you guys? It's scary, the amount of freedom, isn't it?
Yeah. What was I going to say? Well, it's smell the vegetation again.
Is Skoll with us? Can you guys hear me?
He said that his microphone turned off again.
Ah, okay. I guess, should we ignore the result of the dice and check up on someone else while we wait for Skoll then? Just to
Sure.
keep things going?
Yeah.
Sorry, Thompshire. Okay. I'm gonna roll d2 then. 1 is Bladebeard, 2 is Lyri. Bladebeard.
Yeah.
You are now, again, still, in the underground tunnels of Stormwind. Alone, not alone, you're with Gorin. But, you've decided, yeah, I'm not gonna need Hardtip's guidance, I can handle the tunnels on my own. Sorry, hiccups. What's up with you? What are your plans, you and Gorin's plans at the moment? Gorin, as usual, is just staring silently behind you, ready for action, but also without any valuable input to offer.
I think we are just going to rest for a moment because a few minutes ago a card exploded and we are almost dead.
Okay. Yeah, you can take the time to rest in the tunnels. Probably be like half an hour rest to get rid of your stress and consequences. Would you do that? Okay. So you take a rest, and while I remove your stress and consequences, except for Gorin's level 4, that will still stick around for a little bit. Do let me know if you do or say anything, or like if you chat with Gorin about something, or if you prepare something on your own, etc., etc. Okay?
Not sure if chatting with Gorin would be super interesting. So, we'll just sit in silence.
You'll notice that Gorin's form of resting is to sit not sit, like stand next to you, staring at you, not saying anything.
Great.
So after half an hour of this gigantic dwarf standing next to you, staring at you, not saying anything, you feel well rested, and you're not aware of this in character, but Guren does as well. You're still you're level 4 consequence, I forgot about that. For narrative's sake, you still have like the burns you suffered from the massive explosion, fairly superficial ones, but they're still present. It's just that they won't like impede you for like the sake of game mechanics. Make sense?
All right. And also, I guess the pain in my testicles is gone as well.
Yep. Well, you still don't feel 100% comfortable, but you're able to operate normally, if that makes sense.
All right. So, Gorin, are you feeling better? Ready to move on?
Sorry, I'm futzing with my mic at the moment. Give me a second.
I say in Dwarven, so he can understand.
Okay, he looks at you and says, better? Like, with a question mark at the end.
Yeah. Do you feel better than you did half an hour ago?
Are we gonna kill something?
Let's get out of these tunnels first. And then we'll break bones and crush skulls and other things you like to do.
Okay. He starts climbing up, because you're right next to the ladder that leads to the harbor.
No. Not that way. We can't go that way.
Why not?
Because I say so. Because they're gonna arrest us.
You said we have to get out. This is way out.
Well, let's find another way.
Stares at you blankly, still on the ladder, not moving.
All right, let's find another exit, and I'll start walking into the tunnels.
After a couple seconds, Guren, still staring at you, relents and drops down and follows you. Can I get, pretty please, a careful roll from you, dear DoomGoblin?
All right, I'll roll once, and if I fail, I'll do something else.
Sure. I mean, okay. Give me a second, please. Although I'm pretty sure. Yep. No. You don't feel like you're making like progress towards an exit. You're kind of wandering around more or less aimlessly. Although you do, like as you're walking, I'm guessing you're still using like the light from your hourglass, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as you're walking, you will see several corpses as you're walking by them. They look like undead, but also like some of the like cult people you might have met before.
Some of the what?
Well, I'm not sure if Bladebeard met them before, but like the cultist people.
Oh, all right. So I see some of the dead undead.
Mm-hmm.
How does one recognize if it was an undead before it died?
It's a skeleton clutching a weapon. Like it's like literally like one of the skeletons clutching is like stabbing a cultist, but it's also like fallen on the ground. Both dead.
All right. Did you do this, Gurin? Do you remember this tunnel?
Can you roll me Gurin's not forceful? Careful. No. Don't think so. It was dark.
Alright.
I killed this, and he once again lifts the head of the decapitated head of the night elf that he killed earlier.
You still have that?
Aye, trophy.
Well, just leave it here.
Why?
I mean, it's that impressive of it, right? It's just a night elf. If you kill like a,
It's the one that was trying to. It was the one that was trying to kill you. I protected you. It's valuable trophy. Important.
I don't think people on the surface will appreciate you having a severed.
By the way, above board, it's a male night elf, and the quote-unquote night elf you were hanging out with, Lyri, is obviously not male. Has a beard and everything.
All right. Yeah, just leave it here.
But who's gonna mess with me? Nobody's gonna dare mess with me.
Yeah, but they're with you anyway. You're very strong, and
My trophy.
you have. Sure, keep the. You know. All right, keep the damn trophy.
Stares at you, impassively.
Just don't eat it, like Buhd does.
Who's Buhd?
An ogre that I know.
Gonna kill him next time I see him.
No. We are planning to rescue him. On Outlands, and we're going to go there to bring
Rescue?
him back to Stormwind.
Rescue an ogre?
Aye.
Outland?
Aye. Have you ever been there?
Is that something you eat?
Outland?
Aye.
No.
A drink then?
It's a place. A place far away.
Are there trophies to be collected there?
Oh yeah, many. There are dragons.
Then
there
after
are-
I serve you, that's my next destination.
Yeah. So let's keep moving through the tunnels until we are in Outland.
Aye. Stares at you.
All right. I would like to use my stunt to ask the evil spirit in my head. Like, yo, can he help me get out of this tunnel? Can he help me get to the surface, but not in the harbor, anywhere else in Stormwind?
You sit like You instinctively know where to go, but obviously where you will end up is up to me.
All right.
Okay. So all that how about we visit someone else before we see where Bladebeard ends up? Because it will probably relate to someone else.
All right. Let's go and see what Lyri is doing.
Sure. Zelris, are you with us?
I mean, Skoll's microphone's working now, right? So we can do them.
Okay. Your preferences.
Working for now.
Can you talk for a little bit? Because it might not be working.
Hello.
Yeah, it's not really working.
It's got artifacting again. Oh my god.
So I guess we're checking up on Lyri.
Yeah.
So, Lyri, You've just been arrested by the High Sorcerer and the Stormwind Guard after you willingly admitted that, oh yeah, I've killed like 20 guardsmen and mages. Your hands are bound and frozen by magic, and you're being led like with a big escort to the stockades. You haven't arrived yet. What's up with Lyri at the moment?
What about to look at?
Could you say that again? I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
What is that to look at, like, around her, or is she just being completely surrounded by people?
I mean, there's lots of guardsmen, but you can take a look around at the quote-unquote environment. You are in the harbor, like currently making your way towards the stairs that lead up to the harbor. Yeah. Do let me know if you're looking for anything in particular.
No.
Okay.
I think the compel was I had to go all the way to jail at least, so...
That's up to DoomGoblin. DoomGoblin decides how far your compel goes.
I don't know. What do you feel like what was it? A good citizen would do? Upstanding citizen?
I don't know.
I could offer my
I
input,
don't
but
know. I think an upstanding citizen would wait for a fair trial. I don't know.
I agree with Thompshire, but obviously it's up to DoomGoblin.
I say she'll do what an upstanding citizen will and listen to the wizard and go to jail.
Yes, that's what we're gonna be doing then.
She needs to, pay for her crimes because she's an upstanding citizen.
Keep in mind, DoomGoblin, that like in her mind she killed 20 people. That definitely carries the death sentence.
Well, an upstanding citizen would accept it with open arms.
Maybe not go far. Just go to a jail cell, and from there on you can do whatever.
Yeah.
Or at least attempt to get to a jail cell. If you get rescued on the way, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in order to speak, continuing to work with them then.
Sure. Andromath and the guards will be fairly quiet. Like, at most you'll probably see like Andromath giving out like quick orders to like go prepare the way, blah blah blah, like tell the guards we're coming, etc etc. Administrative stuff. Currently you like have as your escort Andromath himself, 6 guards and 2 mages. Okay?
A lot of people.
It is a lot of people, but they think you're very, very dangerous because you did kill 20 of them. So, as you are exiting the harbor, going up the stairs, Andromath will lead you like sort of on the long way out, like Cathedral District, Trade District, Mage Quarter, and then Stockades. On your way, you will see, like, it's still night out, like 4 to 5 a.m. at this point, but you will probably see a pair, or like probably, I don't know, brother or sister, or maybe a couple, a male human and a female human fishing casually in the canals, but you will instantly know them to be someone else. Like instinctively, like you know who these 2 people are.
Yeah.
They give your little convoy a look, and do you react in any way?
Mary will, I guess, give a confident nod.
And then they give a confident nod back, and will resume quote unquote fishing. Not taking any action at the moment. As you continue to be taken through Stormwind, probably like sort of at the interest, like the close to the bridge between the Cathedral District and the Trade District. DoomGoblin, are you with us?
Yeah.
Lyri, Bladebeard pops out of a manhole in front of you and your group.
No.
Can I do it sneakily?
It's a manhole, kind of hard to do it sneakily.
Can I like peek out first?
Sure. Give me a sneaky but owl oppose with Andromath's careful, okay?
All right.
Still says it's rolling on my end. Don't know if it popped up for you guys.
Not yet.
I don't see anything.
Okay. So it's also Roll20 being a little laggy, not just my computer. That's lovely. While we wait, Skoll, are you back? Guess Skoll's not back. Tie.
Or 8.
Tie. Tie on an overcome means either failure or success at a negative cost.
The negative would be I get discovered.
The negative, well, no, it wouldn't be because you're trying not to get discovered.
That, but something else negative happens.
Yep,
All right, let's go with that.
of my choosing. I think what happens is you like peek out from the manhole and you see this convoy of High Sorcerer Andromath guards and Lyri approaching, and just as you pick out and you like stick, like, you know how you stick out a hand outside, not necessarily with the intention of like getting up, but just like to like lift the manhole up. Someone steps on the manhole and on your fingers.
Oh God! All right.
Can I get, I guess, a forceful from you to see if you like yelp out in pain or anything like that?
But yeah, then
It will be
Alright.
it'll be an easy roll. I won't like excessively punish you. Okay?
what was it? Forceful?
Forceful. Yep. Just barely enough, but it is enough. You clench your teeth in pain, but you manage to like hold the scream inside you, knowing that there are guards out there. You still feel the immense weight on your hand.
I pull it back in.
Give me a forceful.
Oh, but no one's no longer standing on it, right?
No, there are people. There's someone standing on it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, aren't they moving along, walking away?
You don't know.
Oh, so yeah, sure. I'll roll forceful.
Lyri, because you can see this, you see one of the guard, like a guard has come up and is like chatting with Andromath, like what's going on, High Sorcerer, etc., etc. Okay.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
Can I also get a sneaky from you, please? Okay. The 6 was the guards, careful to see if that's noticed. You managed to pull your finger back in without like startling the guard or like, oh, what's with this wobbly little manhole thing? So you managed to pull your hand back. Clearly very, very, like, you're in a lot of pain. And yeah, your hourglass has led you, now you realize, coincidentally, to where your little ping of, oh, that's where Lyri is.
I just now noticed.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll stay and listen to what they're leaving.
Can I get a careful? You hear something about stockades, lockup, and isolation.
Alright.
Lyri, if you're also listening, can I get a careful from you? Okay, you also hear like what I told Bladebeard, something about stockades, lockup, and isolation. Presumably referring to you, but it could also be referring to anything else. So, the guard will chat, well, like, not chat, but like discuss with Andromath for like 20 more seconds, and then we'll move on. And Bladebeard, you would hear footsteps walking like on top of your little manhole. Gurren says, "Why stop?"
I just shush him. Shh. I'm not sure Mike picked up that, but I said shh. Shh.
Can I get Gurren's clever?
Sure. You're really making me regret putting all his points into forceful.
You knew what you were getting into. What? Something to kill?
No. Not yet.
Oh, I got it. Let me go on ahead. I'll smash their heads in. And he like tries to push you off so that he can go on ahead.
Oh. You're sworn to protect me, right?
Aye,
So-
and that's what I'm doing.
No.
Could you say that again, DoomGoblin? You cut out on my end.
You're protecting me by staying quiet.
But if there's something to smash, I have to smash it. If it's in our way. Do you have a reply for Gurren?
No. Nothing to smash yet.
Can I get a flashy from you? Then Gurren nods and says, "Okay. Then why wait?"
Because I'm tired. I'm just resting for a bit.
Lyri, can I also get your careful? Okay, says Gurren. Lyri, you do not notice Bladebeard or Gurren, and neither do the guards.
Let's talk about Buhd.
Can you
right
hear me?
now.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh god.
Hello?
You're so muffled. Hi.
Hello? Can you hear me
Oh.
alright?
Yeah, we can hear you fine now.
Okay, you're not in the ocean anymore.
Okay. Sorry. Computer again being stupid. Okay. What's the last thing you guys heard?
The convoy blank.
Okay.
The guards will eventually. That's what I heard.
Yeah, something about that.
Okay. Basically, Bladebeard feels for like his little pinging system that Lyri's getting farther and farther away, and from that understands, oh yeah, it's like the little convoy has moved on. At least from that point of view, it's probably safe to come up.
Alright, I'll come up. Come out of the hole.
Sure. You come out, and yeah, you are. Let me move your little token. You are more or less around here-ish. Okay? Along with Gorin.
Is that the cathedral square?
Yep, but you're on the outside, like the side facing the canals. Okay? Does that make sense?
Is use my other stunt. Yeah, makes sense. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Alright. Since I'm being hunted by the law, I would like to get a disguise. And I would like to use my stunt, I know a guy who knows a guy, to maybe there's a store that sells costumes and clothing stuff. And I know her.
Owned by a certain Piper, perhaps?
Yeah, one of the characters that we came up with that one time.
Sure. Gurin is with you on that note. He also exits. You know that Piper does have a store in the Cathedral District, fairly close by, on this little outside ring. Okay? Just because it's your stunt, so it has to be convenient.
Yeah. And what time is it again? It's still like night?
5 a.m.
Oh, let's hope he's staying late in his store. He's working overtime.
Do you say that out loud?
No, but I hope he is.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You'd also notice, like, on the other side of the canals, Lyri's little convoy being led by, like, torchlight. Like, they're very not subtle. Makes sense, if that makes sense. So, you walk up to... Skoll?
Oh, you cut out. We thought your internet broke again.
No. So, yeah. Bladebeard, you go up to Piper's door.
Alright. Is his store like does it have like big glass windows, or can I see if there's anyone inside?
You know how, like, clothing stores have that, like, little display of, here's all the stuff you can buy from me? That's his little glass window. Kind of hard to see beyond that.
Oh, alright. I try the door.
You try the door and you find it locked.
I'll knock.
Can I get a flashy from you? You knock. No response. Gurin unsheaths his hammer and says, "Want me to give it a try?"
Sure, but don't be too loud.
Can I get a forceful and a sneaky from Gurin? Did you hear me, DoomGoblin?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, because it's
8
not...
and minus 1.
Okay, it's not showing up on my end. Roll20 must be fucking with me again. Anyway, so 8 and minus 1, correct?
8 and plus 9.
Yeah, it's -1.
Okay. So, with an 8, he makes a solid bash against the door and the door begins to give, but not yet. Like, he's made a solid dent, but will need to make another hit. But it's also very, very, very loud.
Alright, I go around. Is there anyone alerted?
You do see, like, some, like, in the building, some lights, some people are turning on the lights, if that makes sense.
Oh boy. Would this building have like a back door on the other side?
Also, give me a moment. I'm gonna refresh roll. I'm gonna refresh roll 20 because okay, now it fucking worked. Would it have a backside? Because it is your stunt, I will say yes, but you'd have to, because it has to be convenient to you, but you'd have to go like around in the cathedral square proper. Gurin readies another blow, another hit.
Hey, stop. You're being too loud. We need to be sneaky. Silence.
You see the lights of Piper's store turning on. Gurin stares at you. Did you hear what I said?
Oh, I think you woke him up. No need to bash the door anymore.
Yeah, and you hear like a surprised Piper's surprised yelp as he probably sees the damage on the damage on the door from the inside and a bunch of scrambling footsteps.
Hey, Piper, it's me, Bladebeard.
Can I get a flashy from you? Did you roll?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, it just showed up for me. Okay. Okay, because it is your stunt. He'll say... You hear the footsteps stop, and then some, like, Piper walking up to the door, and him trying to open it, but the door, like, something with the, like, locking mechanism clearly broke. Because the door does not budge.
You need help?
What will you do?
Gurin, hit it again.
Can I get Gurin's forceful? Okay.
It was 9.
That is sufficient for him to smash the door in, revealing a very alarmed looking Piper. Bladebeard, you absolute son of a bitch. I should call the guards on you. And who's this? Want me to smash him?
No. Don't need to smash him. Hey, Piper, buddy. It's me, Captain Bladebeard.
Yeah, I know. I'm not too happy to see you.
Well, it will be, because I have some business with you. I need to buy a costume.
Fucking get inside before someone comes to investigate what the fuck you guys just did.
Alright. Come on, Gurin, get inside.
Gurin follows you inside. Piper, in his grabs his head with his hands, like just looking in absolute despair, I guess, at the door, and he's like constantly mumbling to himself, like, how am I gonna fix that, etc., etc. He's not a happy camper. What the hell do you want, Bladebeard?
Guys. What did you say?
He asked you what the hell do you want?
Oh, I need a costume. Something I want.
At 5 a.m.? And you felt the need to smash my door in?
Piper?
DoomGoblin, did you hear me?
I said last thing I said was I need a disguise.
Okay. Just slightly changing the visual, because otherwise the session will be unworkable. Okay. Piper basically asked you what the hell do you need, and you said you need a disguise, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Piper will say, was that fucking worth smashing my door in? And who the hell is this?
Like,
I think it's
Can you
actually
guys hear
Skoll's
me?
fault for taking 5 days to complete the expansion.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The viewers will get a slightly reduced experience because otherwise the session will be completely unworkable. But okay, I'll find a way to manage. So, Piper asked you, was that worth breaking my door in?
Don't worry about it. You're gonna get it fixed.
Are you gonna pay for it?
No.
Then get the hell out before I report you to the guards.
Hey, no need to call the guards.
I think they're gonna be coming anyway.
Just, alright, Gorin, put the door back into the door frame.
Can I get Guren's careful? Guren rolled a 2, so he actually does a pretty decent job, but the door is still damaged, obviously.
See, good as new.
Not at all. Piper, still very, very exasperated, says, I'm gonna charge you double, obviously. I think we can understand why.
Yeah, that's also a thing. I also need to borrow some of your money, a lot of it. So, yeah, I'm gonna need to owe you a favor. Alright?
You see Piper reaching for a dagger. Really? Borrow money too, hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, but actually, I think you're getting a better end of the deal. I'm gonna owe you a favor. Hi, Captain Bladebeard.
This is worth 4 favors at the very least. The door, the disguises,
sure.
the money. The disguises for that one, I'm guessing.
I know Gorin doesn't need a disguise. I was thinking maybe getting my mom a dress. Also, my new girl, maybe a new dress for her. I don't know. Benjamin can use a disguise spell, so he doesn't really need anything new.
All right. One thing at a time. Above board, this is only happening because you used your stunt for this. He says, one thing at a time. Okay. So disguise for you. What do you want to disguise yourself as?
I was thinking a mage. A wizard with a pointy head.
There are no dwarven mages. Yet.
Yeah. I mean, what? Of course there are.
I was making a joke because when were dwarven mages introduced? In BFA? I don't remember.
Classic?
No dwarven mages.
I'm
Then,
pretty sure they were introduced in Cataclysm.
then
Really?
isn't Moira a mage?
No, she's a priest.
No, she's a priest.
Okay.
I thought they were a thing. Yeah, what? In Cataclysm? Wow. I thought they were a thing, forever.
Well, give me a second, because now you've made me curious.
Let's just always assume I'm wrong, so let's go with they can't be mages.
I'm pretty sure they were added in Cata. I'm on the Wikipedia page right now.
Yep.
Interesting.
Cataclysm. Yep, Cataclysm. Okay, so you won't say there's no such thing as dwarven mages, but you will say dwarven mage. That's just bizarre, Bladebeard.
Really? What would you suggest I dressed as? I can't go as a pirate. You're gonna know it's me.
A clown, honestly.
A clown. That's actually a pretty good suggestion. It's Hell's End, and clowns can be pretty spooky. But no, I want something that's gonna blend in more.
I don't know. Fucking. Do you want a Hallows End costume? Do you want to look like, I don't know, a demon hunter or a, I don't know,
Oh wait,
an orc?
dwarf mage is crazy, but dwarf demon hunter, that's fine.
Yeah, because Demon Hunter is obviously a costume. You're getting into the spirit of Hallows End. A Dwarven Mage is realistic enough to not be a costume, but also weird enough to be just bizarre.
Good point. I don't know. I think I'll go with my what my beard tells me to do, and I think my beard tells me to dress as a mage.
All right. I don't know if I have. I guess I could have like dwarves or made for not dwarves robes made for dwarves. Let me do a check on my inventory. But above board, because it is your stunt, he will have the required items. And what else?
Yeah, like 2 dresses, one human size, one dwarf size.
Okay. Any preference on color? More specific sizes? Like there's humans and dwarves come in lots of different sizes, and he points at Gurin, who is like noticeably bigger than you.
I don't know. Whatever size. Human and dwarf. To me, they all seem to be the same shape. Every dwarf woman and every human woman. Also, every dwarf male and every human male.
Of course they do. Okay, I'll just pick out medium sizes, I guess.
Except for Teeironors. Some of them seem bigger.
No, don't get me started on cool Teeironors. Whenever one comes into my shop, I have to throw all the fucking measurements out. Anyway, 2 dresses, 1 human, 1 dwarf. Anything else?
Your money.
Anything else?
Beside the money, I guess maybe like a bag, so I can put it on Gurin and he can like carry my stuff.
A bag won't be an issue, but I'm not gonna give you my money.
Of course you will. We're friends.
I'm not gonna give you all my money. And again,
Of course not all your money. Just everything you have here.
Above board, he's only being so accommodating because, again, it's your stunt. I can give you 40 silver and that's it.
Come on. I know you have more than that.
45 silver.
You're making Gurin angry.
Gurin? Says Gurin.
Aye.
You've only been speaking in common, so Gurin only recognizes his name. Oh.
I don't know, he's starting to look angry, man. And you see what he did at that door.
To you, it's obvious Gurin just looks confused, and he says, "Want me to kill him?"
I look at Piper first.
Gurin says that in Dwarven. Piper, give me a flashy or forceful.
Sure, let's go with flashy.
Oh, I think that's the guards coming up on the street to investigate the loud fucking noise you made. Maybe I'll invite them in as well. I'm sure if I could open this shop early, I guess.
I don't think this will be necessary. Sure, Gurin. Break legs. I say in Dwarven.
Gurin unsheaths his weapon and Piper says, "Bladebeard, what are you doing?" As Gurin advances.
Yeah, sorry. To protect you from Gurin.
Wait. Is this happening? Can I get Guren's forceful? Guren rolled a 10, Piper rolled a 1. Okay. 9 points of damage, that's 3 stress and a level 6 consequence. Do you have a name for Piper's level 6 consequence?
Oh, he's from Westfall that just dies. Alright, his level 6 is going to be
This is like it can be broken legs because that's what you ask Guren to do.
Sure, yeah. Broken leg. Kind of boring, but sure.
Sure. So Guren hits out at Piper, and Piper lets out this howl of this wail of pain because Piper's not a fighter, even though he's like a criminal. He's not a fighter. Can I get a sneaky from Guren?
That's a 0.
Piper's being very loud, but apparently the guards are being oblivious, so for the moment, Piper's just crying out in pain.
Hey, quiet down, friend. No need to be that loud. So,
Piper throws a dagger at you.
I, move away casually.
Give me a quick. Piper rolled a 4. Bladebeard just rolled a 5. Okay.
A 7.
Oh, a 7, that's right. Do you want to create an advantage?
He's still not giving up, eh? Sure. What should it be? I don't know. Something about quickness.
Something about quickness. Great name.
Sure. If you're gonna go with that. Alright.
Something about quickness. Okay.
I should really come up with a bunch of names for advantages in advance and just use them. I should make a list.
Sure. It's not supposed to be something difficult, but okay. So
it is me.
and a lot of other players too. Okay. I guess since we're now in proper initiative order, yeah, it will be your turn.
So, Piper,
Get the hell out of my store!
come on, man. I just want this to be a friendly conversation, not a robbery.
You see Gordon preparing his mace again, ready to smash the other leg.
So, what's your choice? Your other leg or your money?
He pulls out a dagger. Guards! Guards!
What should I do? Yeah, I'll just assist Gurin. Can it be just by telling him what to do?
Sure.
Yeah, just knock him out. Unconscious.
Hard to do. Usually just kill. We'll try.
Yeah, try your best.
Piper will spend his turn trying to call for the guards. He rolled a 4. Let me roll the guards, careful. The guards also rolled a 4. So, yeah, because of Piper's earlier good roll.
Can I, if he succeeds, can I use his consequence to make him reroll or get -2? How does that work?
-2. It will be -2.
Alright, -2.
Okay. His screams, for whatever reason, don't reach the guards. Either his voice is weak or the guards are just distracted. Hard to tell. Gurin's turn. I'm thinking Gurin will try to follow your orders and give him a solid knock on the head.
Yeah.
Can I get a forceful from Gurin?
10.
Piper rolled a 7, so let me do some quick math. Okay. He has to take his level 1 stress, level 2 stress, and level 4 consequence. Do you have a name for the consequence?
Level 2.
No, level 4 consequence. Level 4.
Oh, level 4. I don't know. This one was broken leg. This one is going to be
not something not
like
quite
a bad headache.
Bad headache makes sense. Okay. So he just like reels, like semi-conscious at the moment, clearly very stunned by getting smashed in the head with a hammer. And Gurin says, oh, don't always get them on the first try. And he prepares to strike again. Your turn.
He's still not surrendering.
I mean, have you like given him the opportunity to?
Sure. I have last round, but I'll do it again. Come on, man. I'm a pirate. I do this for a living. Just choose your money or your life.
Can I get a flash? Because I'm not sure he's in a condition to hear you at the moment. Because it like blood's coming out from his ears. Okay. With that roll, okay, he's going to concede the fight.
Alright, man. I'm gonna leave you alive, and I'm not going to burn your store to the ground, because maybe we'll do some more business in the future, because we are very good friends.
He spits blood on your boots. You're not sure if he's doing it like out of spite or just because he's so wounded or like delirious that he doesn't realize what he's doing.
Oh, that was my one good boot, and my one only boot for now.
Yep.
Alright, first of all, I'd like to take some of his clothing in the store and tie him up and put one in his mouth as well.
You are able to do that. You definitely see that like his leg is bent on at a very odd angle. And Gurin says, "No knockout?"
No, I think he came to his senses.
Stares at you, like not sure what that means. Gurin is unsure, but obeys.
Alright, I'll put him in, I don't know, behind the counter or in some sort of closet.
Sure.
I'm talking about Piper, right?
I know. Sure, you do that. And yeah, because you conceded the fight, he conceded the fight, you can do whatever you'd like. You can also take from his store whatever you'd like, obviously. Not that you needed my permission.
Yeah, I'll take everything that I said I would. So all the money he has. And... Alright. All the money he has.
Which is about 90 gold. He was clearly shortchanging you.
Alright, amazing.
90 gold and 40 silver.
Awesome. Then I'm gonna dress myself to look like a mage. And I'm going to put a bag on Gurin.
Like, I'm just imagining you're putting a bag on his head, like He's some sort of like murder victim or kidnap victim, but I know you didn't mean that.
Oh, yeah. Like a school bag. What are those called? Like
Backpack.
backpack. Oh, how did I forget that? Yeah, backpack.
Sure. You give Gorin a backpack.
And yeah, I'll put, what did I say, 2 dresses in his bag, and it is the money too heavy for me to carry.
No, I think you can carry it. It would be uncomfortable, but you can carry it.
Sure. And let's say the things I was wearing before are also in Gorin's bag.
Okay. You are now dressed as a mage, with slightly oversized robes, but still fitting you. You've acquired 2 dresses, Piper's money, and Gorin now has a backpack. You do hear activity at the front door, guards, and you do hear knocks on the door.
I mean, he did surrender, so does that mean that he's gonna comply?
Piper surrendered, not the guards.
Yeah, but he's going to go along with the robbery. Or is that something I don't know?
It's not something you know, because it wasn't like in the terms of the surrender, if that makes sense.
All right.
All you know is that you tied him up and stashed him somewhere.
Should I answer or should I just pretend like there's no one here? Yeah, I'll just stay quiet for a moment.
More knocking. Stormwind guard, everything all right?
Yeah, everything's all right.
Can I get a sneaky from you?
Sure.
Bladebeard rolled a 5, the guard rolled an 8.
Wait. Sure. I'll spend fate points. I rolled all minuses and 1+. I'm gonna invoke Pirate Captain because I'm doing piracy at the moment.
You very much are. Are you using that to give yourself +2 or to reroll?
I'm gonna reroll.
Please give me a reroll then. That is a
still
7.
not enough.
That is a 7.
I'll sure, I'll spend another fate point. And I'm gonna invoke Professional Kleptomaniac. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
And I'll add +2.
Yep. So, what did you say to the guards? Can you remind me?
Yeah, everything's fine. And I'm just gonna add, like, my cat was, like, knocking things down.
Your door's heavily damaged. We think there might have been a robbery attempt. Are you safe?
Yeah, safe. Very safe. Yeah, don't worry about the door. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. I'm real tired.
Can you open the door? We'd like to get a statement for the official report.
No. I'm going to bed. I'm really tired.
Sir, I'm sorry, but this is guard procedure. We do need a statement to file the report. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take you in as an uncooperative witness.
Sure. Just, alright. Just know, I have company, and, he's a very, scary-looking guy, but he's good. Don't worry about him.
Guren lets out a fart.
Alright. I'll try to open the door.
Can I get a careful from you? The door is... Guren messed the door up bad. It's pretty much jammed in its socket.
The door was fine before you came. Hello. Good evening.
You don't manage to open the door, is what I'm saying.
Oh. The door is kind of stuck. Can I just give the report without you entering?
The guardsman tries to force open the door and fails. Says, "Do you need us to call a special service to replace the door, sir?"
No, like I said, I'll replace it tomorrow. I can get out through the back door if you really want. Get my report.
Sure. That'll be fine, sir. Where is this back door? Where does it lead to?
Just wait here. I'll come to you.
All right.
I say in Dwarven. All right, Gorin, follow me.
Guren gives a nod and follows you.
Can I get to the back door?
Yeah, you know where it is. You also know it leads further into the cathedral district. You'd have to go around quite a bit of a ways away to get back to the guards if you were intending to get back to the guards.
I don't think I was.
I thought you weren't, but just giving you that information.
All right, I'll just continue walking deeper into the cathedral district.
Sure.
Having accomplished everything I wanted to.
Sure. Shall we check up on Benjamin and Buhd?
Sure.
Skoll and Thompshire, are you guys with us?
Yes.
Skoll?
I think Skoll said yeah. Facing the mic now. But he should be ready soon.
Why is this session so cursed?
He said he would try and fix the mic every time he talked, so he's probably just doing it now as just to make sure.
Okay.
Won't stop working halfway through, I guess.
Sure. And yes, this session is very much cursed. Just for context's sake, the viewers don't see the in-game screen at the moment because that lags a bit too much. My computer is being very, very iffy. So that's why I'm dictating oh, Bladebeard rolled a whatever, the guard rolled a whatever, so that the viewers know what's going on, at least on the dice roll side. Okay. Skoll, give us a sign whenever you get back, okay? Okay. I guess checking up briefly on Lyri then. Would that be alright with everybody?
Sure.
Till we wait for Skoll to get back. Okay. So, Lyri, you continue being led by the guards. Again, a very roundabout way to the stockades. Once again, do let me know if you do or say anything on your way.
Lyri will not, as per the compel.
Sure. And eventually, as you reach the stockades themselves, no other incident will happen on your way. one guard will like run up to Andromath from the stockades, like very panic looking, and say, "Oh, High Sorcerer, there's been a breakout. There's been 2 prisoners." And the High Sorcerer will say, "Do you need to tell me that in front of another prisoner?" And the guard looks at you, Lyri, as if noticing you for the first time. I apologize, High Sorcerer.
Was it Andor?
How did you know? Who's this Andor? Says the High Sorcerer.
Someone connected to this Silver Main group I talked about earlier.
Andor looks at the guard and says, "You can tell me that in private." And turning back to you, Lyri, I think we're gonna have a lot of questions for you.
Lyri was smug. Alright.
Do you have the cell ready according to my specifications? Well, you know, the stockades isn't exactly meant to house this. Do you have the cell ready or not? More or less, High Sorcerer. It's I'll show you. Please follow me. And with a very frustrated look, the High Sorcerer would motion for you to follow, again with your escort.
I will follow.
And yeah, you see like a general, a bit of organized chaos at the stockades themselves. As in, you see like there's clearly activity when this is like 5 a.m. at night. There shouldn't be much activity, specifically guard activity, like they're wondering, "Oh, what happened? How can I help?" etc. Can I get a careful from you?
Sure.
Lyri rolled a 1. Yeah, you think you spot a couple of guard corpses like being taken away on stretchers.
Maybe we'll give them a nice good look.
I will say, it's a good roll, but not like the best roll. So I will just say that it looks like the guards were killed by bladed weapons.
As expected.
Okay.
This is going perfectly according to plan.
And yeah, you are being led into the stockades fairly deep. Do you pay any attention at all to like who else is in like the prison cells?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, you are being led to the deepest section of the stockades, and you are going to be ushered into a jail cell.
Lyri will go inside the jail cell.
The High Sorcerer then says, "Step back," and you see him begin casting something.
I guess I'll step back then.
Sure. And you will see a creature pop up on the inside of the cell. This lovely thing that I'll probably put for the viewers on screen. You will recognize it as like a very heavily modified arcane elemental, if that makes sense.
Oh god, it's scary.
And it just pops up on the inside of the cell, just staring at you, and the High Sorcerer says, "If you step too close to the bars, it will kill you. If you try to cast magic, it will kill you. I will inform you that this cell is magically sealed, and if you try to teleport out, not only will you be stopped, but this guardian will kill you. Are we understood?"
We are understood.
Now, what exactly is this silver mane thing you keep babbling on about?
The prison cell is a bit too cold. Maybe we can talk about it later, somewhere warmer. Lyri gives him a big smirk.
I don't believe you have a choice in the matter, elf.
I feel like I have a choice.
The High Sorcerer like snaps his fingers, and you see the elemental move like 1 foot forward, for like the imperial measurement thing. The more uncooperative you are, the less cell you will have for yourself. Until, obviously, it will have to kill you. Now, answer my question, please. Sir, isn't this brutality? Did I ask for your input, guard? Leave now. Sir. And one of the guardsmen leaves.
Okay. In Lyri's head, she does not want to answer, because if she gives the answers, the Silverman will not try and silence her. So she's gonna try and play this guy.
Sure.
In all fairness, isn't the Silverman already after you?
Yeah, but they'll have less of an incentive to come and kill her and give her a chance to break out if she, tells them everything.
I mean, would they also know that you guys are in Stormwind?
I feel like, they probably know because of Satea's thing.
Satea's thing got ripped off before, you guys returned.
Was it?
No.
It wasn't. It was ripped off when her arms were taken off by
my bad. Never mind. I'm dumb. Carry on, please.
Yeah, they know that me and Bladebeard are back in Stormwind, not Benjamin and Buhd.
Sure.
They might think that we exploded in that ship.
Yeah, they might. I can tell you that Andor fellow is part of the Silvermane. He used to be the leader.
Leader, okay. Carry on.
But now the leader is someone from inside the Stormwind intelligence agency, I suppose.
Yes, I7. Alright. Do you have a description of this individual? Or a name?
Yeah.
Then speak it. You're clearly not an unintelligent child. Quit wasting my time and your time as well.
Lyri points at the elemental. Back that thing up a foot and maybe I'll say their name.
The mage makes a gesture and the elemental steps forward 1 foot. Defy me and you will not live to even regret your action.
Kill me and you never find out.
Can I get a forceful or flashy from you?
Sure, aren't they the same value? Yeah. No, wait. I'll do forceful.
Wow, that's a very good forceful. Lyri got it too. And she has a -1 forceful. The High Sorcerer relents, and the elemental steps back to its original position.
He's bald, tall. His name begins with a... Lyri pauses for a second.
Why aren't any of you taking notes? Take notes right now, sir. And the guardsmen start arguing. Do you have a notebook? I don't have a notebook. Get the fucking notebook. And one of guardsmen runs off.
Lyri just waits there then, since I'm not taking notes.
I have a good memory. I am the High Sorcerer of Stormwind. Please carry on.
What was his name again? I completely forgot. It's been 2 weeks.
Is this above board or?
Above board, but it can also be... in character if you want it to be low.
I mean, I'll inform you above board. Obviously, you can make your choice in character, but above board, his name, at least as far as you guys know, is Clovis
Oh, yeah,
Smith.
Clovis Smith, yes. Okay, I think Lyri would remember that. It hasn't been that long. She was saying it yesterday, or like last session, so. His name is Clovis Smith.
The one who tried to incinerate the king's chambers.
Mm-hmm. I was there for that. Of course I know.
You were... We were informed that a blood elf was responsible, not a high elf. I'm surprised you know the difference, sir. One more word out of you and I'll have you reprimanded, sir.
I didn't say I was responsible.
No, but you were implicated? Involved?
Implicated, involved.
You said you were there.
I mean, I was there, but I wouldn't consider myself involved.
Involved doesn't necessarily mean responsible. It can also... A victim is also involved. Be honest, please.
Okay.
Well, so were you there or were you not there?
I was there.
Alright. Were you this blood oath that was apparently involved, or am I thinking of someone else?
I mean, I have blue eyes. Maybe they just took the notes down wrong.
So that was you.
Yeah?
The sorcerer gives out a nod. A guard has returned with a notebook and looks ready to transcribe whatever you say. The high sorcerer then says, "All right. So, explain this night's incident, the murder of 20 guardsmen and mages that you so freely admitted to."
I was trying to check on something that I left, and some guards tried to kill me. No, wait, I remember now. Sorry, I blacked out during this. I was near the ship that left, and it exploded, and that knocked me out. And then when I woke up, guards tried to arrest me.
What's your involvement with the ship that exploded?
We were meant to be transporting some ogres on that ship out of the city, but this Silver Main group, I think, set up explosives on the ship. I wanted to board the ship, but I was told not to by my companion, and when it departed, it exploded.
So why would the Silver Main that you keep talking about plant that explosives on that ship? What's so special about it?
I think they just wanted to kill me.
Then what's so special about you, dear?
Because I know information on them.
Enough to risk a flashy explosion. That's very, very interesting. All right. Your story still doesn't match with the guard's statement so far. The guards said that you approached in broad, no, not daylight, but you approached openly and tried to claim you were fishing.
Oh yeah, that was afterwards. It's the whole story.
You do realize that, while not as severe as the slaughter of guardsmen and mages, not cooperating with the authorities is also a crime.
I'm aware.
Make this easy on yourself, and at the very least I will promise you a quick death.
Lyri will not say anything.
So, let's go back a little bit. What were you doing, say, 30 minutes before the ship exploded?
The gears in Lyri's head are turning. I should try to remember what happened 30 minutes ago before the ship exploded.
Above board, you were arguing with Bladebeard on what to do with the ogres.
Yeah. I was just in the docks arguing with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Which friend, if I may ask? What were you arguing about?
About if we should put the ogres in the ship or not.
Let's talk a little bit about the ogres. What's the magical prison you had them encased in? What's that all about?
No. They're just given to me like that.
You don't know, and yet you were the one who moved them, retrieved them out of the water. What on Azeroth were they doing underwater anyway?
I didn't want people finding them.
So you put them there, drowned them.
What do you mean drowned? They're still alive.
He gives out a shrug. If you can tell me they're alive, then fine. We have no way of detecting if they're alive or not. Alright. So, why did you have to leave under the cover of night with the ogres, or at least you were deciding on whether to do that or not?
Because we don't want to be in Stormwind anymore, because we don't want the Silvermane to kill us in our sleep.
Again with the Silvermane. Alright, let's talk about them. What do you know about them? You mentioned their two leaders, and...
Well, they're like a group of nobles who want to topple the king.
Gives you a nod. The scribe guard furiously writes down names. Do you know any? Places, methods.
Elsewith?
Lady Illyrian.
Yes.
She's an upstanding citizen of Stormwind. I'll not have you slander her. Sir, did you not hear about the incident that happened yesterday? What incident? She, the guards look at each other like they're not really sure, like they want to break the news to their boss or not. Let's, perhaps you should discuss this with the royal guardsmen. There was an incident at, it involved. Speak plainly, guard. There might be truth in what this prisoner is saying, sir. Turns back to you, Lyri, and says, continue. So, Lady Illyrian, this Clovis Smith individual, the escaped prisoner Andor, anyone else?
Who else do I remember being put as Silvermane?
I mean, Castilian, you also know that there's someone named Emilia involved, and you did meet an Emilia, the one you cut the arm off of in the Brawlers Guild.
There's someone called Emilia. I don't know any more about that. And some creepy guy, some creepy mage who wears a hood all the time.
Also, technically, you do know about Benjamin's cousin who's in Stranglethorn, and
yeah, but she's not going to help Benjamin's cousin like that.
Sure. And the Draenei assassin that I don't think you know is dead.
She might also know about a demon that Bladebeard helped defeat.
Also true.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she didn't help. She didn't help.
Oh yeah, Bladebeard mentioned that. I should probably mention that as well. There was also a demon that was also part of the Silver Man that got killed in the Stormwind Keep, I believe, pretty recently.
How did you know about that?
What do you mean? How do I know about that?
As I asked, how did you know about that? The demon was impersonating a close friend of mine. Wait, were you the one who stuck out your tongue at me?
Huh? No.
Can I get a sneaky from you?
I hope. Oh, come on. It'd be funnier if you failed.
He has a good cackle. See, look. You almost got me.
So Lyri got a 12, Andromath got an 11. Andromath, like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that this would be a good moment to use a DM fate point.
It is my only fate point for the scene, so I'll keep it for now.
Can you do it for free with her consequence?
You could.
Or is that like
I
only
could.
I can do it because I inflicted
No.
it?
Anyone can use consequences.
I mean, wounded pride, lying not well, kind of. Goes
All right,
together.
Zelris, since all your fellow players insist that I throw you under the bus, I'm gonna throw you under the bus and use your consequence against you.
That's fine.
So that's Andromath's 13 to your 12.
Yeah.
Wait. So you were there. You're the one with the whole business with the ogres and the... He, like, has a look of, like, shock and anger.
What's got you so upset?
Well, I'm very, very glad that we finally put you under bars, criminal, traitor, deserter.
Traitor? How am I a traitor? I did nothing wrong.
Deserting the Stormwind military is an act of treason.
I did not, say anything.
Orders by the king are as good as law. Sir, maybe we should... You will be quiet. Fine then. Anything else you'd like to say that might ease your sentence?
I don't think I want to help you anymore. Larry turns away from the bars.
Sir, you don't... with all due respect, you don't have the authority to pass... Do you not know anything about the interrogation guardsman? Sir, with all due...
Clovis was a better interrogator than you. Larry will roll her eyes at him.
The elemental takes a step forward.
Larry will roll her eyes again.
Perhaps, sir, we can return this conversation in the morning when, with all due respect, you've calmed down yourself. Let me roll Andromath careful to see if he'll take that advice. I will have you reprimanded. No, I'll have you whipped, soldier. You two take him away. Sir, please. Clearly you're upset, and in all due respect, sir, you don't have the authority to whip us. I am the High Sorcerer of Stormwind. Are you all aware who you are talking to? With all due respect, sir, I think you should return in the morning. Am I surrounded by imbeciles? Do you not realize what a dangerous individual that one is? Do you not realize that she needs to be punished for her crimes?
Is he looking at the guards right now?
Yep.
Okay.
But the elemental is staring at you.
Yeah. Lyri will just, I guess, walk into a corner of the cell and sit down and put her hands behind her head. Oh wait, no, she can't because she's handcuffed. She just sits down there.
Sure. And the guardsman would say, "Sir, with all due respect, this isn't the battlefield. You do not have the legal authority to be judge, jury, and executioner. I should have you demoted. No, I should have you stripped and removed from the guard for your behavior. Then you'd have to strip and remove all of us, sir." And as the other guards also like stand up for that one guard. "Morning then. Fine. You've earned yourself a quick reprieve, criminal." And Andromath walks off.
Now just to wait.
The Elemental is still there, above board.
Yeah, there it is.
Now should we check up on Benjamin and Buhd?
Yes.
4th time's the charm, I guess. Or 3rd, I don't know. Thompshire and Skoll, are you guys with us?
Yes.
I'm here. I don't know how I sound though.
You sound fine.
Okay, I sound fine for the moment. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully that stays.
So 4th time's the charm. Okay. You guys have just been teleported to the northern outskirts of Stormwind. What's up with you guys, I guess?
Finally back home. Or, well, not home, but not scary purple place.
Yeah, at least it's your current planet.
Very glad to be not there.
What's the plan now? Well, I assume finding Bladebeard and Lyri, wherever they are.
Find ogres, and meet with the Lyri and Bladebeard. Hopefully they are, they're good and not, I don't know, back on Scary Planet. Feels like that might happen.
Knowing them, they're, I don't know, probably at the bottom of the sea at this point, but I appreciate your positive thinking.
I hope they're not at the bottom of the ocean. They are my ogres. Would you imagine if my ogres were at the bottom of the ocean? I'd be very upset. Be angry.
I love how you turned slightly Scottish or Irish there.
Scottish Buhd.
Yeah.
I'd be very angry, lad.
Yep.
He's been hanging out. It's because he's been hanging out with Bladebeard for so long that he's slowly getting that dwarven accent.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, Bladebeard's dwarven accent is very good.
Very good.
I mean, Laurentian voices Bladebeard in the machinima adaptation. He does a good dwarven accent, I guess.
Yeah, he does an amazing job.
Yep.
I know that guy.
Shout out to Laurentian. Yeah. So, sorry about the interruption, by the way.
So then, should we check out the so-called ogre hotel? Maybe they went back there with all the ogres, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe, or we could ask if guards have seen any ogres or Lyri or Bladebeard. Hopefully they're not in trouble.
I don't know, it's just a gut feeling, but we're probably not, in the best, how do I say this? Well, we're probably not the most welcome people at the moment,
Yeah, I guess
we're
so.
not. We caused a bit of confusion. We disappeared again. All that.
I guess we go see ogres, but, well, if we can't find them, would say we ask guards for help.
Sure, I'll take you up on that.
Or as long as you don't go peeing somewhere while Buhd is not in area, because
Yeah,
That went bad.
I think I learned my lesson.
Not good, because Bud doesn't want to go back to Nasty Jail Place. Although, Nasty Jail Place was strangely better than Nasty Planet. So,
Weirdly so, I have to agree.
I don't know, Benjamin. The smell of the ogre dungeon was awful, but you be the judge. Also,
It's a recency bias.
also, Benjamin, you will receive a sending from Kyrie.
The usual.
She says, "Oh, if you meet Bladebeard, we've fished out his little iron dwarf companion, non-functional, damaged. Let me know if I should teleport it to you."
Oh, okay.
I'll paste that in the Discord.
Okay.
And yeah, let me know if you have a reply. But otherwise, do you guys proceed into the city proper?
Yeah, I guess so.
Cathedral districts, to be exact, right? You also have the option of heading to a dwarven district.
Bud will follow Benjamin because Bud's not exactly. He still doesn't really know the city that well, even though he's been here for, I don't know, a couple days.
So Benjamin heads to the cathedral district, because that will be where the older hotel was.
Yep.
Okay. And you are walking like openly, not trying to like sneak or anything like that, correct?
Yeah, I guess we try to be relatively casual.
I can't see Bud being sneaky ever, so yeah.
Sure. At the little gatehouse that would provide you open into a cathedral district, you do see guards like guarding the place, obviously, and holding torches. Do you approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, before that, I have a reply.
Please, could you read it out and post it in the Discord afterwards?
You should probably keep it for now. We still haven't met up with Bladebeard, and, well, that thing is an eye grabber.
Okay. Again, could you post it in Discord when you can?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. So, you see two guards standing with torches guarding the gatehouse. Do you approach them? When they see you coming, one of them drops the torch and pulls out the sword and yells out something at the other one, who runs into the city.
I think this is a good sign, definitely.
Hold right there. State your name and purpose. You clearly detect like the fear in his voice.
I am Benjamin Aaran, and this is Buhd, and we are guests of the king.
hello.
I didn't hear any. Are you involved with the slaughter at the harbor?
What is
no.
this slaughter?
You stay back. Don't come any closer.
Oh, he's harmless most times.
Stay back, I said, or I will interpret this as an act of assault upon the royal the king's the Stormwind Guard.
I'm not gonna touch you. I just want to see my ogres.
You will stay right here until my superior officer and reinforcements arrive, or I will interpret this as an act of assault.
Okay.
I think this is a bit of an overreaction.
20 guardsmen and mages died. A ship was blown up. What overreaction?
Look,
if anything, I'm underreacting.
I'm very sorry, but we just got here.
What's your involvement? That one's an ogre. There were ogres involved. What's your involvement?
Are my ogres okay?
I don't know.
Was it the spooky ship?
I don't know. I was stationed here.
Well, but I don't think we were involved since, as I mentioned, we just got here.
But he's an ogre, and there were ogres there, I think, right?
All right, I'm sure there were humans there too, right?
Can I get a
Are you
clever
to
from
blame?
you? Can I get a clever from you? Benjamin rolled a 1. The god says, "There's evil humans, sure, but there's only evil ogres."
not
I
evil.
don't think that's a very nice thing to say.
I'm the one making the judgment calls and asking the questions here. So, hope by the light, get here already. Okay. Calm down, Thomas. Calm down.
Look, do you just want us to, put our weapons down or
Yes,
something? Would that make
yes,
you feel better?
I should have asked that sooner. Put your weapons down now.
All right.
Okay.
Do you put your weapons down?
Yeah, Bud puts his weapon down while he kind of talks about it.
They got a lot more uppity while we've been gone, Benjamin.
This is why we can't leave this place.
I just hope my ogres are okay. We don't like hearing about ship blowing up.
Although while all you guys are disarming yourselves, you see the guard is just staring in horror, like realizing, like, not only, oh, it's a big ogre and an intimidating human, but also like how many weapons you guys have. Oh, Bud less so, but especially Benjamin.
You know what? That's
Oh,
fair enough.
Bud only has like 2 weapons. He lost his. Well, no, he doesn't even have his sword anymore. He lost it.
Didn't you pick something as a replacement for like?
Yeah.
shields?
He made a makeshift sword out of like
bone.
bones. Yeah. It's a makeshift weapon. That's what he had to use. Yeah, I remember
Do you
now.
have it? Do you have it?
Yeah. Bud never departed from it. He has that, and he has his cannon. That's it.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna roll something for the guardsman. He clearly terrified drops his sword and like starts picking up and says, "Stay back, stay back now."
Are you okay?
I'm the one asking the questions here.
Okay, ask away, I guess.
Are you the names? No, you said that already. By the light, you clearly see how terrified he is. He says,
Do you want some water or something?
Not from you. It could be
Okay.
poison. Could be poison.
Okay.
I know how you criminal guard slaughterers operate.
We don't kill any guards.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know. There's a due process for these things. You can't just throw accusations. That's not very godly.
One of you freely admitted it. Well, not you two, but one of you, I think. Is it one of you?
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I only hear secondhand fucking reports here. What do you think I know?
More than us, clearly.
We were in Scary Planet Place for a while. It called Netherstorm. It was awful.
Nether what?
Netherstorm.
Eventually, you guys will see several more guards rushing in at this gate, and they will be accompanied by someone that I will put on screen momentarily, and I'll also show the viewers in a bit. Come on, where did I put it? But yeah, they are accompanied by this paladin looking fellow that I will show the viewers in just a second. But yeah, do let me know if you react in any way at the sight of this approaching paladin.
Did he loot Murad's body?
Above board, this guy is a lore character, and that's the armor that looks the closest to his armor.
Bud just waves at him, because that's what Bud does.
Okay.
I guess I kind of just stand there for him to say something first, I guess.
Sure. Give me a moment. I'm still futzing with things. Okay. The guardsmen all come up and also pull out their weapons. The paladin has his mace slung over his shoulder, as in the picture, and he says, "Benjamin, Aaran, and Buhd."
Buhd, Captain Buhd. Hello.
Hello. Guards, they're fine. They're with me. You know them? Good night. We have common friends. Trust me when I say they're not involved in today's events. The guards look weirdly should we put our weapons down? What's going on? They clearly don't know what's happening. And the guy looks at you and says, "Certain high elf mage in a very purple place. Mutual friend."
I just facepalm. What happened this time?
I'm on your side, you know.
Good. Really good.
So, guards, please. It's all right. I'll take full responsibility if anything happens, and I will protect the people of this city, as is obviously my sworn duty. And the guards slowly ease up and say, "All right," but they could be involved in. They're not, but I'm sure they'd like to know what happened from first-hand account, I'm guessing. Looks at you guys.
I just nod.
Bud nods as well.
Then come with, please. And the guards slowly sheath their weapons. The guard who was facing you off by himself passes out.
Should we take our weapons back now?
Yes, but don't be too flashy with them.
Okay, but will not roll flashy. I mean, be flashy.
Shakes his head.
Well, hard not being flashy with a massive cannon on you, but well.
Well, Bud just not have to polish it then. Bud tries to keep it clean though.
At this point, he would invite you guys to walk into the city with him, not accompanied by guards, just by himself.
I guess we follow.
Does Bud also go?
Yeah.
He says, "My name's Jorad Mace, Paladin, obviously. You must be, again, Benjamin, Aaran, and Buhd.
Buhd, yes.
Sending spells can be inconvenient sometimes. I'm a friend of Teeironor.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
It's impressive how all the dragons we know are extremely well connected.
Benjamin, can I get a careful from you? Because you might know something. Benjamin rolled a 3, which is insufficient. Okay. And he says, right, well, she told me that you guys apparently have business in the Nether Storm, and that apparently I have to fetch you and your companions if you decide to go and help her or not. And well, there's been an incident in Stormwind Harbor, but when I heard that there apparently an ogre and a human had showed up at Stormwind's northern gates, I kind of figured it was the two of you.
Yeah, Benjamin is very easy to pick out in crowd.
Right. So, obviously sending spells are kind of limited by design. What was your business in that place?
Initially we just went there to retrieve our friend Lyri, or the purple elf now. We kind of got caught in some...
Oh, purple elf. Okay, you lost me. And what was this elf doing over there? Again, all I know is a quick sending that Teeironor sent me. I don't know anything else.
Right, it's kind of hard to explain all the context of the last few months, but essentially our friend kind of wanted to go home, but somehow ended up in Outland, and we followed her. But then the Nether Storm is like this extremely complicated geopolitical place. So Nether Dragons, Blood Elves, it's a bit of a mess. We got
Really?
separated, and sorry, go ahead. What did you say?
He said, really? Still? I thought you adventurers had taken care of all the Legion and the Blood Elves and all those threats.
No, there's the Legion, there's nasty Blood Elves, there's Ethereals, so it's definitely a handful. And I think they all hate us, probably. So, there's that.
How's Teeironor? Is she managing the situation?
Well, she did seem a bit understaffed, for lack of a better term.
He has this look of resolve on his face, and then nods to himself. All right. I'm sure. Well, if your decision will be to help, then I will be joining you, and I'm sure I'll get the details straight from her. And no offense, but I'm sure she probably has a better way of explaining the situation.
Right, we just spent less than a day there, and it was... Actually, how much time did we spend there? Was it less than a day?
Less than a day, definitely. I'm trying to determine if it was... it's between 12 and 16 hours, something like that.
Okay. So, continuing on. We were just there for, less than a day, so it's... Let's say we don't have the best position to explain whatever's going on there.
Outland is a very complicated place. You might not believe this, but I once slew a Death Knight there. And I don't mean one of the Lich King's Death Knights.
Oh, we met one of those, actually, in Buhd Bay not long ago.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
And where is this? This could be a dire threat, you know.
Oh, he's probably rotting in the violet hole at this point.
Ah,
Yeah, Khadgar, take him away. Magic-y stuff.
I'm sorry, did you say Khadgar?
Oh yes, we good friends with Khadgar, dragons.
I wouldn't go that far. But...
What? He not our friend? He helped us out a lot.
Well, he also dropped us on Stormwind, and then all of this happened.
Well, I blame Lyri. I think that could have gone a lot better without her and her things she does.
Right. Well, I think we can perhaps get the full story after. She said you wanted to find companions, something to that effect.
Yes. Well, we're essentially looking for a purple. Wait, I know Lyri's purple. I don't. Do I?
You do. You were there.
Okay. We're essentially looking for a purple high elf that's sort of glowing.
Can I get a careful? You definitely see him like tense up and like grip his hammer even tighter when you say that.
And a dwarf with blades in his beard.
Don't know anything about a dwarf, but your purple high elf killed about 20 guardsmen and mages earlier.
What?
You can understand why the guards were all jittery.
But that we know her for a while. She can't take on 20 guards and mages. That's just absurd.
What did she look like the last time we saw her, Benjamin?
Purple?
Wasn't the ethereal's purple?
I was too late to intervene myself. Just as I was rushing in, I saw her vanish away with two figures. But I saw from a distance this purple, I later learned, high elf, or elf in general. And I saw the frankly terrifying magic she wielded. We're talking about the same person?
Well, actions aside, it does sound like the same person. I assume there's not many purple high elves around that I know of.
Right. Well, I did hear that a high elf was arrested, but I don't know if she wasn't purple, so I don't know if that's the one you were looking for.
Well, is there a chance we could speak with her?
The imprisoned high elf?
Yes, if it's the same one, I guess.
He lets out a shrug and a sigh and says, well, she'd probably be in the stockades at this point unless she escaped on the way there. You'd have to ask the guards to give you permission to speak with her.
Well, I don't think the guards regard us with a lot of friendliness, but I guess it doesn't hurt to try.
Yes, I think we can try.
Because it seems that people keep forgetting that we're sort of guests. Sort of, yes.
With all due respect, if any of my guests' close friends murdered 20 of my subordinates, I would not be so keen to welcome them. your status as guests is probably not something you should count on at this point.
Well, all I'm trying to say is that I just don't believe she would murder 20 guards and mages just for no valid reason. Just she's reckless and sometimes does very stupid things, but
I know what I saw. I
doesn't-
cannot tell you that it was her, but I know that I saw a person wielding terrifying magics, and all the witnesses who survived the encounters said that she was an elf, not a night elf, but an elf, and that she had purple, dark blue skin. That is all I know.
well, and I presume she was using void magic, right?
It certainly felt that way.
Well, from personal experience, let's just keep it at that. That sort of magic tends to, try to influence a person. So,
Look, I am not the one you need to convince. I'm not the justice system of Stormwind. From my point of view, if Teiri trusts you, then I will give you a bare minimum of trust. And it's clear to me that whatever the actions of your companion, if this was your companion, it's obvious that it's not something the two of you would repeat, probably. He gives you guys a look like, right? Am I right?
yeah, I can just nod slowly and just try to, process what I was just
Yes.
By the way, any connection to the ogres the guards found in the harbor? Looks at Buhd. Did you hear me, Skoll?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Did you hear what he asked?
Okay, what did he ask? Hold on.
Any connection with the ogres the guards found in the harbor?
Those are my ogres.
Really? Are you aware of the state they're in?
What state are they in?
Encased in some weird void prison. Is it prison? Probably a prison. That I think your elf or maybe a different elf was manipulating? Were manipulating?
Why would Lyri manipulate my ogres and imprison them?
I only know from a second-hand account.
And where are they being kept?
The harbor, as I said.
Are they? Okay.
Can I see my ogres?
I'm not the one who decides that. The harbor is under lockdown by the military at the moment, though, so I would not recommend trying.
So, the stockade is probably our best bet right now.
Gives you a shrug. Do you wish me to accompany you, or shall we meet up somewhere else?
Well, you do seem to have some sort of pull around here, but we wouldn't want to.
I'm just a humble paladin of the Silver Hand. I don't have any official authority. The guardsmen respect me, but respect can only get you so far.
Well, I guess that is fair enough, but Honestly, I don't particularly see them letting us see such a dangerous prisoner, as you mentioned. But I guess as long as they don't throw me in jail, it doesn't hurt to try.
I'm willing to accompany you again. It is just an honest question if you would need me to.
Well, then, if you don't mind, we'd appreciate that.
Very well. And he'd proceed to walk in the direction of the stockades, which would be Trade District and then Mage Quarter.
Okay.
Can I get careful rolls from Benjamin, Buhd, and Bladebeard? Benjamin's stunt would apply. Benjamin, out from like a house's back door, you see Bladebeard dressed up in a robe, followed by a scary looking dwarf behind him. Bladebeard does not see you.
I whisper over to Bud, "Hey, is that Bladebeard?"
Which one?
The one with a pointy hat. Is he wearing a pointy hat?
It does kind of look like him, a little bit.
I leave that up to DoomGoblin.
Sure. Pointy head.
How far away is he?
Like 100 meters, like shouting distance, but not like talking distance.
Do you think you can call out to him?
Skoll?
Yeah, Bud can go out to him. Bladebeard, get over here. Hello?
Can I get your flashy and Bladebeard, can I get a careful?
Well, Bud promised not to be flashy, sorry.
Yeah, but you're taking the advice of like keeping quiet very clearly. But Bladebeard, you think you hear something, and if you were to turn to look, you would see this odd little group of Benjamin, Buhd, and a paladin.
Oh, alright, great. One question before I approach them. Does Gurin still have the severed head of an idol with him?
Yep.
Oh boy. I say to Gurin, can you give me that head so I can put it in your bag?
Oh, I hands
All
it
right.
to you.
I'm gonna go behind him and then throw the head in like a bush or wherever I can.
Can I get a sneaky? Okay, Gurin doesn't need to roll, he cannot beat that. Okay. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. Alright, just follow me.
I?
And don't, if you see an ogre, don't attack him, alright? Only if I tell you.
Ogre! Looks at Buhd, unsheaths his weapon.
No, don't attack anyone. That might just be a costume.
Narrows his eyes. Can I get Gurin's careful? I sheaths back his weapon, but still has narrow eyes.
Alright. I'll start walking towards the group.
Yeah. Benjamin and Buhd, you would see Bladebeard converse with the dwarf and do some things before he approaches you.
Well, he's certainly taking his time.
Is that Gurin? Says the paladin.
Who's that?
Oh, he's a legendary warrior. I fought alongside him in Outland.
Well, seems he's friends with our pal, Bladebeard.
Small world.
Huh, really is.
Does Bladebeard
Very
approach?
small world.
Yeah. Bladebeard is like, oh, ahoy there. You guys must be Buhd and Benjamin Aaran, right?
Bladebeard, are you drunk?
You probably mistaken me with my cousin, Captain Bladebeard. I am his cousin from Ironforge, Spellbeard.
You know, it's... you know, Bladebeard, it's not really the time to be joking. Lyri is in jail for perhaps having killed like 20 people.
Yeah, my cousin Bladebeard told me about some of the things that happened.
Jorad, the paladin, says in Dwarven, "Hail, Gurin, do you remember me?" Can I get Gurin's careful to see if he remembers? Shiny human. Ah, well, the usual then.
So I see you're no longer in Outlands. That's amazing. Captain Bladebeard told me that you were trapped there and that he was trying to rescue you.
You know, I'm gonna stop engaging in a little game and I'm just gonna pretend you're acting normal. So we're just going to try to visit Lyri. So maybe you want to come with us, maybe you don't. It's up to you. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see what this Lyri is up to.
How do you know Gurin, dear friend? Says the paladin.
Oh, I'm just a skinny little mage, and I need a strong warrior bodyguard. So I hired Gurin to protect me.
He's definitely got the muscle for it, but he can be a bit direct at times.
Yeah, I figured.
But still, he's good company and will fight to the last. I've seen him tear off the arms of demons before.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that myself.
Oh,
Or something like that.
yeah, Bladebeard. I think we should tell you that Suteya is probably dead or captured or worse. We don't really know.
What? Is she dead or captured? I mean, I bet Captain Bladebeard would like to know.
We were being chased by a fell reaper, and she couldn't outrun it.
Does Bladebeard know what a fell river is?
He has no idea. Gurin probably does. Or at least he fought them.
By the way, above board, Gurin has no idea what Outland is, but apparently he fought there.
I was meaning to suggest that as well, so that's amazing. Yeah.
The paladin Jorad Mace says, a fell river, and you survived?
Well, barely, but yes. Apparently, Buhd here met with one like 4 or 5 times.
Got stomped by one too. Still alive though.
By the light, you truly are lucky to be alive.
Wait, I believe that Lyri told Captain Bladebeard, and then he told me that Satea and Tamal... Wait, did she tell me that Satea and Tamal are captured by the...
She did.
By the Legion?
She did.
And then she told me that they are not with the Legion anymore, but with the Ethereum.
Yep, because she got a sending from Guruk and she communicated what Guruk told her. Yep.
And how does she know that?
I don't know, and Captain Bladebeard also doesn't know. But I hope that Satea and Tamal, whoever they are still alive. And yeah, we'll have to go back and rescue them.
Right, that's part of what we wanted to talk about, but maybe we should get to Lyri first.
Aye, sure.
Jorad the Paladin whispers to you, Benjamin, is your friend all right?
He's like this sometimes.
Okay. For context, Gurren has just been like walking silently, like not acknowledging Jorad or any of you guys. Still occasionally looking at Buhd and narrowing his eyes, but then like shaking his head like, no, it can't be.
So, who is your new friend?
Oh, apologies. My bad. My name is Jorad Mace. I'm a paladin of the Silver Hand.
I'm sorry, I just assumed he was a new friend. I mean, I never met you guys before, so... nice to meet you all. I'm Spellbeard, like I said.
I don't know if I'd call you friends, but allies certainly. We have common friends, let's say.
Yeah, Captain Bladebeard.
I meant certain Teeironor.
I have no idea who that is.
We'll feel it in later.
Yeah, she friendly dragon lady.
Oh, you mean Kiri. Bladebeard told me about her.
No, I mean Teeironor, not Kiri. I don't know a Kiri.
Maybe you mean Lyri?
Spelled with a Y or an I. But no, probably not.
Yeah, she can do spells.
Hopefully not the void variety, because well.
Oh, I don't know if I should ask this, but I sort of found this book not long ago, and I take up the fancy light book thing.
Okay.
I gave it a look some time ago, and I have no idea what's written here.
May I?
Yeah.
He takes the book and inspects it, and like even before he picks it up, his eyes go wide, like, oh, okay, this is like a very powerful thing, and then he like peruses the book, like browses it, and says, my dwarf is a bit rusty, but light strike is oh, it can't be. And he skips to the final page, and he looks at something on the final page, and his eyes go wide and says, may I ask where you acquired this?
Wait, my cousin Captain Bladebeard told me that book is his.
This book is a holy relic of the Silver Hand. It's been missing for 100 years.
He told me that he got it through magic cards.
Okay, who did he play to get it, if I may ask?
The universe?
Well, it was, Bladebeard found that, well, he was given this weird deck that when you draw a card, something happens. Right?
That is a good joke. May I see this
Oh,
deck?
I wish I were joking. Some very strange things happened.
May I see this deck? He says, like, with a very sarcastic smile.
Bladebeard, do you have it still?
If we run into Bladebeard, then he can show it to you.
Look, this isn't funny anymore. Just show it, okay?
I don't know what you mean, Benjamin Aaran, sir.
Okay, let me rephrase this. I'm sure Bladebeard lent you this deck, right?
I don't know what Bladebeard would do.
To answer your question, technically this is a tome penned by Arash. He was a cleric, a dwarven cleric that lived centuries ago, one of the holiest of the order and a high priest of Ironforge back in his day. It was said that on the day of his death, some odd magical phenomenon happened, and some magical thieves took off with most of his belongings.
Yeah, that explains things. Bladebeard got that deck from Ethereal, so that's...
Yeah, I think I should probably return that book to Ironforge. I think that would be the best course of action here.
Certainly, and I don't disagree with you, but I think this could prove particularly useful in our current fight. This is an incredibly powerful artifact. And
it's surprising. I just don't do anything, and a big shield pops around. It's really interesting.
And, well, that's the least of its powers. If you were trained to tap into the power of the light, you could certainly unlock its full powers. This is certainly the find of the century. I hope you realize this.
I guess it's a bit hard to go to the scale, but I guess we've seen some artifacts of that level before.
He closes the book and, almost with reverence, hands it back to you gently.
I slowly put it back in my bag.
We should certainly return it to the Ironforge or Silverhand, or the Priesthood for that matter. But again, I do believe that it would be very useful in our current fight.
Right, I agree. Maybe useful for now, but afterwards, yeah, that sounds fair.
Gives you a nod. So may I see this supposed magical deck? Well, I guess the story does get a bit more credence, but you'll forgive me if I'm skeptical.
Oh yeah, of course, it's just ridiculous. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself. So, Bladebeard?
DoomGoblin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you hear what he asked, or?
Yeah, I believe he was talking to Bladebeard.
Oh, okay. So Bladebeard's just been silent. Oh, do let us know if Bladebeard is silent, because sometimes silence...
Bladebeard doesn't answer your call.
Mr. Spellbeard, do you have it?
The deck of cards that Captain Bladebeard had? No. He still has it.
Are you sure?
Aye.
Having held the cards before, can I sort of try to see if I detect their magic?
Give me a careful. Oh yeah, you definitely feel that magic in Bladebeard's, Spellbeard's whatever bag.
You know I can sense them in your bag, right?
No.
Look, I'll just be clear. I'm not trying to rob you. I just like to get a look, and well, I would warn you, I'm sure Teiri would warn you more about the dangers of hoarding magical artifacts, especially from unknown sources. Well, at least magically unknown sources. So, be careful of that, I suppose.
No one will draw anything, Mr. Spellbeard, so no need to feel, a little shy about showing your cards.
I just met you guys, so I do feel like I need to feel shy. And can we change the subject already? I don't have the cards. Can we go back to finding Lyri or whatever we were doing?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Buhd.
I will not press you on the subject. Just be warned that if what you said and what he said, he means the collective you. What you said is true, then those cards are very, very dangerous and should be handled with care.
All right. I hear you.
And speaking of Lyri, shall we briefly check up on her?
Yeah.
Okay. So Zelris, now that you are in your cell, you do detect magical barrier around it, and you are guarded by this odd arcane elemental. Also for the viewers, I forgot to say, Benjamin rolled a 6. Anyway, yeah, you are in your cell. Do let me know if you do or say anything. At the moment, at least.
Lyri's just kind of waiting around to see if she sees anyone try and come in and get her. Eyeing up the ethereal. Is there anything in the cell at all? A
bucket, a straw bed, and probably a crate. You hear a chuckle coming from the hallway.
Oh, I will, I guess, peek and see who it is.
Yeah, and someone will peek back at you. Just a second, please. While I mess with some technical stuff. Someone peeks back at you from the cell opposite yours. Oh yeah, I put that one in this category. From the cell opposite yours, this lady clad in red that I will show the viewers momentarily if you give me a second.
What's your deal?
Never seen one as fancy as you down here. What are you in for?
Killing 20 guards, the usual.
Amateur stuff.
Yeah, I could do better.
I killed 30 guards and, about 50 peasants.
Lyri shrugs. I'm just trying to wait out until someone comes in here and tries to kill me.
Can I get a careful from you? Okay, never mind. She says, oh, they always talk about death sentence and capital punishment and all that, but they never really follow through with it.
I mean, someone else, not the god.
Oh. Is that why you're in prison? I figured you're dressed way too fancy to be a murderer like me. I figured you were a political prisoner.
Lyri will shrug.
So, who'd you piss off?
Stormwind nobles, SI7.
The usual then.
Yeah.
If I ever get out of here, I just want to return to menacing innocent travelers and occasionally burning down villages. It was a good life, Points at her mask. These people, they allow me to really show my true worth, to really express myself for who I am,
Lyri looks at the elemental. Do you have one of these as well?
Yeah. I guess we're stuck in the danger section together. Above board, by the way, the careful roll was to see if you'd notice if she also had an elemental, and now you know that she does.
Interesting.
He gets kind of boring sometimes, all swirly, and oh, if you get too close, I'm gonna burn out your soul, but they never truly burn out your soul, you know? You know, I like you, political prisoner. If we ever get out of here, maybe you should join me on the highway.
On the highway?
It's the highway or my way. I came up with that joke myself, you know?
How long have you been stuck in there for?
Varian was king when I was stuck here. I heard that he got kidnapped. So he was king when I was stuck here, before he was kidnapped.
What do you mean he's still king?
Oh, they got him back? Oh, fancy that. I like to burn his little hair off. Always thought it looked stupid.
Okay, well, did they ever, like, give you a trial or anything? Or is it this?
Yeah, they did. I've been sentenced to death for since Varian was king. Yeah, I've been sentenced to death since then, but I don't know. I just never got executed. Always heard whispers along the pipeline. You know, whispers, little whispers, that apparently there's some Lord Roswell or another that had some special interest in me. And that's why I was still alive. But I don't serve no lord, you know? I just serve the fires. You know, the fires speak. They speak in your mind, and you have to listen to them.
Lord Roswell? Yeah.
That's the name I heard, anyway.
Lyri will, I guess, not tell her that Lord Roswell is dead.
So, yeah, I've just been here, just making friends. You know, roast rat doesn't taste quite as bad as it does the first time after you get used to it. Do you know any magics? Well, you have to know magic since you have one of these with you.
Wait, there's rats here?
Oh, yeah. The elementals keep us in, they don't keep the rats out.
Can Lyri look around for any rats?
Can I get a careful? No, you're feeling pretty unobservant at the moment.
If I see one, there's something I'd like to try.
You know the trick with rats? You have to try... I don't know if you have any like field experience because you're like a fancy princess and a political prisoner and all that, but you have to like try to skin them, you know. Burned fur doesn't taste that well and burns so easily.
Is she not handcuffed?
She's not handcuffed.
Well, surely that'd be a bit difficult considering, you know, I'm handcuffed.
Oh, you are? Oh, then you must be really dangerous then. Oh, they handcuffed me for the first year, you know. But, you know, when I kept burning the handcuffs off and melting them, they kind of gave up after a while. Well, then they stuck this thing with me, points at the elemental, and then they said, if you burn the handcuffs again, we're gonna whatever you. But the handcuffs never came back. Strange.
Great. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I can't stand this.
You learn to get used to it. Just remember, listen to the fire when it speaks, okay?
I mean, it can't be that long. They gotta send someone to kill me. And when they do that, I'll give them a piece of my mind.
Oh, yeah, I think they allow last words if you get executed, yeah. Do you know if you're gonna be publicly executed or like more of a private thing?
Lyri will roll her eyes.
You know, I think my official sentence is hanging, but it could also be burning at the stake. You know, it would be kind of ironic because, you know, I burn things. But I think they would realize that I could manipulate the flames and sort of like set myself free. So, maybe they'd go with firing squad? What would be the proper sentence for me?
Lyri looks again at the void, not the void elements, but just the elements on like what it's doing if it's just standing there still.
Just standing still, staring at you.
Will it move his head if I move?
Yep.
Creepy.
Oh yeah, you get used to it. Well, it's going to the toilet is always a little uncomfortable. I never really got used to that, but you know, at the very least, mine like learned. Oh yeah, if I use a little bit of fire to cook a rat, it's not something that you need to burn my soul out for. You know.
Lyri's hands like tied behind her, not tied, handcuffed behind her back or in front of her.
I would say in front.
Okay. Can Lyri like reach her mouth with her hands?
Yep.
Okay. Lyri will, I guess, bite at her nails while waiting.
Sure. Understandable.
I wonder, you know, there's always all this, like, I guess, mythology around blood, you know.
Oh, it's the best thing. You know, I just love Crimson. Well, and not just because of points at her mask, but also because, you know, she lights up a small fireball, and then you hear, like, a sound, probably the elemental in her cage, and she quickly extinguishes it like, no, I'm good, you know, I'm good. No need to burn my soul out again.
I mean, like, there's always legends about bad blood. You know, it having evil properties. I wonder if that's real or not.
Well, they said I was bad from childhood. Said it runs in my blood, so I guess I kind of get that.
Yeah, Lyri will give her a nod, and Lyri will, I guess, bite into her hand.
But I find that most people usually like bleed the same, unless they've got like what's that one disease called? Starts with hemo. Anyway, those people bleed out a lot, and their blood doesn't clog up. Blood burns funny. Did you know that?
No, Lyri looks around and see if there's any rats.
Give me a careful. You do see one scurrying around.
Lyri will bite into her hand until it bleeds and try and pour it on the rat.
And try to what?
Pour it on the rat. Just like splash the rat with it.
Give me a quick, I guess, because the rat is still alive and moving around. Okay, you splash blood on the rat.
Nah, doesn't look like it's doing much. That's unfortunate.
The rat scurries off scared.
You know, I don't know what I was thinking with that. I'm just trying to find some amuse. Wait a minute. Oh no, I can't. I can't even try anyway. These elementals make things so unfun.
Yeah. You know, I heard Andromath designed this spell from. Is it Andromath his name? Anyway, he designed it after reading a report by some Dalron Kirintor guy, you know? Apparently he faced some weird elemental in Grimbatol or whatever. Has a history apparently. This is an ancient spell. Or well, a new one, but based on an ancient one. Something like that.
Very well, I guess. Think to herself and see if she can like find some amusement in the voices of the void. This is just infuriating with this woman.
Sure. You drown out this woman's inane rambling with the whispers of the void.
Does it show me any like cool imagery that's better than the cell?
Give me a careful. Oh yeah, it shows you various futures filled with like your greatest personal desires, but also like way beyond that. Like you see yourself on the currently vacant throne of Silver Moon. You see like your family back together, even the ones who you know are dead, and not like through necromancy, but just because they are. And you would know it's all possible through the power of the void.
This is so much more interesting than this boring cell.
All the while, like, so you've tuned it out, but you do hear like the inane ramblings of this woman talking about fire and spells and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now above board, I think I'd like to ask everyone's input, but I think it would be interesting to like have like Benjamin, Buhd, and Bladebeard reach the stockades and maybe have a scene where everyone's back together before we end the session. But what do you guys think?
I think that'd be cool.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Benjamin, Buhd, and Bladebeard, you guys continue on your way to the stockades, accompanied by Jorad, Mace, and Gurren. All the while, I think Jorad would like try to pry Gurren's memory, like, hey, you remember when we took down that Felguard or like that Doomguard, etc., etc., and Gurren would just like stare silently and occasionally say a no or an I. But it's up to you guys, like, if you talk about anything, the three of you, or do anything on the way.
So, how's city been when we were gone?
I heard from Captain Bladebeard that he once again saved your ogres from a explosion.
Oh, not good. Yeah, I heard that they were trapped in bubbles by Lyri, and she was manipulating them. That make me sad and upset that she would do that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what their fate is right now.
Oh,
they're
they said that they in harbor. They're still in bubbles, but that's what they say. So that sounds good to Buhd at least.
Yeah. So how did you guys manage to get back without this Satea character?
Oh, the dragons help us.
Ah.
And
Sure.
we gonna need to help the dragons.
Awesome. I love working with dragons more than fighting them.
Oh, that's good.
Above board, you guys, like, this is entirely optional, obviously, and especially if like there's information you want to withhold. But we can say, like, while you guys are traveling to the stockades, you guys like filled each other in on everything. Or again, if you want to like withhold any information, do let me know.
Yeah. Captain Bladebeard will share some of the things he knows. He will not reveal that he is in fact Captain Bladebeard, and that he robbed a guy and, broke his legs. But he met with Captain Bladebeard at some point, and Captain Bladebeard told him a bunch of stuff.
Sure, but could you be more specific? Like, since you guys separated, do you tell them about, say, what happened at the Void Ephemeral camp? What happened, like, when you got back to Stormwind with like going in the underground and meeting Hartep and all the stuff about Shallan, do you tell them about the events in Stormwind Harbor? Like, how much do you tell everyone else?
Alright, Captain Bladebeard tried as hard as he could to get the ogres to the ship, and the guards want him arrested, and that's why he's currently hiding somewhere. And yeah, he would really like to not get arrested.
And why do the guards want him arrested?
Because they are idiots. Because he had a bunch of ogres with him. And that's apparently a crime.
Dumb crime.
Alright, and what was the whole business with the boat?
Yeah, he told me that he had a feeling in his beard that there was something wrong with the ship. So he didn't want the ogres to be on it. And once the ship sailed off, it exploded.
So Clovis betrayed us.
Chlois? Who's that, and what does he have to do with the ship?
Never mind, just next time we see him, we'll beat him, Yeah, we'll just beat him.
And yeah, he told me that the explosion was green.
Yeah, I figured.
What does that have to do with Chlois? Oh yeah, Bladebeard told me that he sometimes uses green explosives. Yeah, it makes sense. You're a smart guy, Benjamin Aaran.
Thank you.
Although, just for context sake, as an ogre walking through Stormwind may be a little odd, you will occasionally see, like, guards pause, like they see your group and they look like, oh, should we approach? What's going on? It's an ogre, blah, blah, blah. But, like, usually Jorad, the paladin, will, like, lift out a hand, like, it's alright, they're with me, and they'll usually, like, let you guys pass unmolested. So you'll not be interrupted on your journey by anyone.
Alright. I think that's basically what Bladebeard tells them.
Okay, so nothing else about, like, say, Hartep Shallan or about the Void Ethereal Camp or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do Benjamin and Buhd tell Bladebeard what they've been through, or?
Yeah, I don't think we have anything in particular to hide.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, including, like, almost destroying the Mana Forge, and then wandering the wastelands, losing Satea, but also, like, thinking like, oh, is that Tomo over there? And, like, luring the Fel Reaver to the Void Ethereals, and then meeting Tiri Ghost and all that?
Yeah.
Sure. So Bladebeard is properly filled in on everything.
Alright. I'll make sure to tell Bladebeard when I see him about your adventures.
Sure. I think as you reach the Mage District, you will see, surprisingly for this hour, a beggar on the street. And do you guys ignore him, or do you interact with him in any way?
Yeah, we have bad experiences with beggars, so I'll just ignore him. He's not a Draenei, is it?
Nope. Human. Male human. When Bladebeard passes by, he says, "Don't forget the promise, the faithful await." Everyone hears that, by the way.
Excuse me? Well, what did you say, beggar?
The faithful await, the beacon calls. We will be here, ready. Tonight, next night.
Alright, you probably mistaken me with someone. Alright.
Gives you a firm nod. I'm guessing everyone noticed this interaction.
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
Here, have a silver beggar.
Have you ever seen? It's meme, but also like real. Like in Oblivion, there's like certain in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, there's like certain beggar NPCs that are like have like this gruff voice, like, "Oh yeah, I know how to train you to be sneaky and all that." But when you give beggars a coin, they have like the same voice line. So from suddenly a gruff voice, they'll go to "Thank you, kind sir." This is what that beggar does. He goes from this very serious voice to this goofy "Thank you, kind sir."
Oh, you're welcome.
Spare a coin for a war veteran, says to the rest of the party.
I keep walking.
I's a war veteran, you know. You fought in any wars?
I keep ignoring.
Is Buhd with us?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's just that you've been quiet for a while. So,
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what Buhd could add to that whole thing.
no worries, no worries. Jorad and Gurin will also ignore this interaction, although Jorad probably finds it a little weird. So do you continue towards the stockades?
Yeah.
You guys eventually reached the stockades, and like I said when Lyri was here, you noticed like they're suspiciously active for like 5 to 6 a.m. Like, Benjamin and Buhd, you guys have been at the stockades in the middle of the night. It's usually quiet. Now there's like guards running everywhere, and like clearly something has happened. And Jorad the paladin says, "Well, that doesn't look good."
Well, considering what you told us, it wouldn't be exactly surprising.
You see him like... You see a weird light envelop him, and almost like a symbol of like a helmet above him, and he says, "For protection." The helmet
right.
like vanishes.
I pick my book and activate the Grand Shield.
Sure. And you get another charge on it. Gurin notices this and asks in Dwarven, "Fight?"
No, not yet. Alright.
Aye. Do you guys proceed inside?
Yes.
Sure. I was kind of thinking of maybe staying outside, but yeah, I'll follow. I'll kind of keep. I'll be behind Buhd.
Sure. And in this chaos, Benjamin and Buhd, you would recognize the guard that, the guard captain that, you remember in that first night when there was a guard captain who allowed Buhd to be sold? This is that guard captain, and he's like coordinating the guards, like, I need a report for this, so you go there, etc., etc.
And I explicitly remember this.
You recognize the fellow because it's been like 2 to 3 days at most, and you do remember his like indifferent look as he casually sold Buhd off, or allowed Buhd to be sold off.
I kind of lean over to the paladin and say, how do I report slavery exactly?
Slavery?
Yeah, that one sort of sold Buhd away.
But he did what though?
He sold you off, don't you remember? When you went to that lady, yeah?
All the guardsmen, they wear same uniform, so they all look very similar to Buhd. That one try and sell Buhd?
Well, he did sell you.
That
Well,
one,
but not-
that one is also the guard captain of the stockades.
Well, he very rude. But have ear to talk to his mind. Yes.
I agree, but he like places a hand like gently on Buhd. I agree, and if what you say is true, he should be brought to justice, but perhaps we need his help at the moment? If we have a friend here?
I swear,
Well,
what's with this city and corruption? I've had enough of it.
Yeah, your human city is pretty bad.
I'm only thinking in terms of practicality. I'm perfectly willing to help you report this individual to the proper authorities, but he may pose more hurdles in the way of seeing your friend.
Right. Let's just hope he doesn't remember us.
Oh, I'm sure he'll remember you, looks at Buhd.
Well, he gonna be very surprised then.
Yeah, maybe that will motivate him to help us.
Perhaps. Shall we? Yeah, you see, like he's discussing with other guards, like carrying out orders, and as you approach, he like takes a quick glance and says, "No visitors at this hour." Without a breakout, and looks at Buhd, and like his jaw drops.
Hello again.
Hail. Looks at the rest of you. And like looks at you guys like, what's gonna happen now? Like tenses up, not sure how to react.
Well, we simply come for a little visit.
Visit. Right. Does this involve the King's Dungeons or the King's Justice?
Could be Buhd's justice.
You know, do you really think I'm the only one involved in this? Do you really think everyone here, and you see like some guards like perk up, won't help me if it comes down to it?
Is that a threat?
I don't know. Are you threatening me?
I'm not.
Okay. Then let's discuss things civilly. How may I help you, citizens?
We are here to talk to Lyri about things.
Who?
Bud looks for Lyri.
Well, we've heard of an elf who was in prison not long ago.
Which one? The one who broke out or the one who slaughtered 20 guards?
Well, which one is purple?
Neither.
Right. Well, I guess then it's the one who slaughtered 20 guards, since it's the only one here.
Can I know the reason for your visit? For the books, you know.
Well, we're simply trying to understand what happened and perhaps arrange for a proper defense.
You heard lawyers or something?
No, we're... Let's say we know her. Maybe, if it's who we think it is.
Well, if it is who you think it is, then I have leverage on you as you have on me.
Well then, let's just keep it even. If it makes you feel any better, we'll leave our weapons here, and then we'll just go about our little visit. You can watch us if you want, and we'll be out before you know it.
And maybe don't sell people while you're at it.
Well, certainly, of course. And yes, that was a very foolish endeavor. But, it takes a lot to keep a prison running. And funds have been so tight lately,
Right. I guess that is how things work in this city. Okay.
Jorad Mace, like the paladin, looks at you like, are you seriously gonna pay him? But he says nothing.
I just give him a look of like, what else am I supposed to do?
Jorad takes a step forward and says, look, friend, you've clearly been involved in business unbecoming of a proper officer of the Stormwind military. Now, I'm sure you could sick the rest of your goons on us, but if a paladin of the Silver Hand were to go missing in here, I'm certain that the proper authorities will take note. Now, are you going to take us to my friend's friend, or shall we settle this in a more uncivilized fashion? Of course. Right this way, please, says the guard captain.
I kind of stand there for like a second or two with my mouth open, and then I guess I just follow.
Do Buhd and Bladebeard follow?
Bladebeard follows Buhd.
Okay. Oh, Bud's following Benjamin.
Gurin will follow Bladebeard. Okay. The guard captain will lead you through the stockades. Same question I asked Lyri before. Do any of you pay attention to which other prisoners may be here?
Oh, sure. I guess I could.
I would also like to.
Can I get a careful from whoever may be paying attention?
I guess I'm not paying attention.
Suppose not. Oh, wow, you both rolled ones. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're blind as bats. It is pretty dark in here. At one point, when you guys pass by a cell, you hear, husband! And like a slam against the cell doors. And like, you see the hands of a gnome desperately reaching out for you, Bladebeard.
How do people recognize me? I'm dressed as a mage.
Husband! Pay, set free, then get married. Have many children, yes?
Bladebeard will just ignore and try to stay hidden.
Lover, looks at Buhd. Lover, pay, set free, have many children, yes?
I don't have any monies.
She like slinks back into her cell.
Bye-bye.
And you can guys continue on your way.
Sure.
Yeah. And eventually, you would hear Mr. Buhd, Mr. Bladebeard, and Mr. Benjamin. Hello, it's me, John.
Oh, John.
Yeah,
Oh, you must be one of Bladebeard's crewmen.
Oh, right, we're doing the thing. Yes, I knew Bladebeard very well, Mr.
Spellbeard.
Right, Mr. Spellbeard. Hello. Have you come to get me out? Looks at everyone.
What are you in for?
Being undead.
Oh, that's not fair. You with us?
Well, can I be with you on the other side of these bars?
But no, see why not? Let him out of there. He don't do anything wrong. He just undead.
I can't go out and free prisoners. Are you insane? Says the guard captain.
But he didn't
can
do
we-
anything.
Who can we speak with?
The proper court of law. Or, well,
Can you introduce us to him?
sure.
Last time, nice Dren, I just let us go.
Well, we'll come back for you later, John. Just hang in there.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if you saw them, but Mr. Spellbeard, I think some of I think Chisel and Troon were in the cell right over there, but I don't know if you saw them.
I have no idea who those people are.
Of course.
but,
I apologize. But I'm sure that information could be helpful to someone. Yes.
All right. Thank you, kind undead. John, was it?
Yes. Hello.
Well, we'll see that justice is done and you're released from your unfair imprisonment.
Please.
All right.
It's really cold and damp here. You know, dead flesh doesn't do well in damp, cold environments. Doesn't, you know?
That's interesting because a bunch of them are on Northrend. But all right, yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Well, this
See ya.
is a Sub-Zero. Okay, but goodbye. Do you guys continue on, leaving John to his fate?
Yeah.
We'll come back for you, John, I promise.
Okay, please do. I don't like it here.
Yeah, it's sucking there.
Do you continue on your way?
Yeah.
Joad Mace will say, to whisper to Benjamin, how many of your group's friends are in here?
Above board, did I end up seeing Seema in Stormwind? Or was it only Bladebeard?
Think it was just Bladebeard.
And I don't remember if I ever mentioned running into him. I don't think I did.
And you run into him, or you ran into him twice even.
Really? No, Buhd did.
Oh yeah, Buhd did.
I don't know that he's alive. I think that he was killed by a guy I paid to kill him.
Yeah. So Bladebeard and Buhd would know, but they would know of different things.
Well, I would hope not.
Your answer to how many is you would hope not, above board?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was if he was asking if there were any more.
Oh. He asked how many, my bad.
None, I think.
Oh, what was that about? And that one lady?
The lady, I'm not really sure what that's about. And the other person, well, there's literally no other reason for him to be here aside from him being undead, which, you know.
Is he a friend of you? Well, obviously, I guess he's a friend of yours, but is he forsaken? What's his story?
He was turned into an undead by an evil troll witch, and he was one of Bladebeard's crewmen, and then he was freed, and he was back to being his crewman again.
I see. Well, let's just say I've had dealings with Forsaken before. He didn't really seem the type.
No, he has no affiliation with them, that I know of at least.
Noted. Do you guys continue on your way?
I guess so.
Yeah, and eventually, Lyri, as you're sulking, you might hear a loud male voice say, "Oi, prisoner, high elf, you've got visitors."
Lyri's ears perk up, thinking it might be the Silver Man.
And, yeah, Benjamin, Buhd, and Bladebeard, along with Jorad and Guren, you would be led. Well, there's two cells. To your right, you see a woman clad in red, like cackling to herself. And to the left, you see what looks like a high elf princess, like clad in armor and a tiara and all that.
Who this?
Lyri, you see Benjamin, Buhd, and Bladebeard. And a paladin and Guren.
Great. Just know what I wanted to know. Why they beg. Various times around.
This person's just crazy.
Don't get too close to the cells, by the way. The elemental is, well, he'll kill you, frankly.
Is Guren there?
Yep.
Lyri kind of paces up and down. The Silver Man are probably still in here.
Does she say that out loud?
She's very, very quiet, if you can hear it.
I'll roll careful if you'll let me.
Sure, give me a careful, but it'll be a high DC because she's whispering. Not quite enough. You see her, like, muttering to herself.
If I could only get out of here, they're probably still here. If I need to save Stormwind, I need to get out of the cell. I might lose them.
And the paladin says, "This doesn't look like the one who slaughtered all the guardsmen." "Well, she is," says the guard captain.
Lyri looks at the elemental.
It looks
So, she just changed her appearance?
like you. "Don't ask me, this is how I got her," says the guard captain.
I've played a couple times.
Lyri looks at Guren and then looks back at the elemental.
Guren stares blankly at you. He obviously does not recognize you. I'm not even gonna, like, ask Bladebeard to roll, because Guren would never make that connection.
Yeah. Lyri will, Lyri will look at the guard. "So, found that escaped Andor yet? Or is he still lurking around?"
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Wait, he's out?
Why do you care?
Well, I was the one who defeated him.
So what, you got your bounty, you got your reward? What's my that's none of my business.
It should be. He's like a danger to Stormwind. Like, how are you not more worried?
Look, my post is here. I'm doing the best I can. It's
Well,
not
if
my
the city is in flames, it's not your post anymore.
my post is here. It's not my job to catch him wherever he may have gone.
Can I look at the magical wards on the prison I'm in, the little cell?
Like examine them magically, you mean?
Just kind of make a logical assumption about how they would work from what I know.
Give me a careful. You just feel like a general dampening of magic, but you have no idea about specifics with that roll.
Wait a minute. Lyri is going to quickly try and change her disguise to look like Bladebeard, even though it'll annoy the elemental.
Can I get a careful for you? But it'll be easy for you.
That's -1.
It's sufficient. It's sufficient. I was gonna set the difficulty much lower, but yeah. Lyri changes to look like Bladebeard. The elemental takes a step forward and lets out a low grumble.
Aye, help me! I'm stuck in a jail cell. That looks like Garen.
Bladebeard?
Bladebeard?
Bladebeard, can I get Goran's clever?
Oh god. Oh god. That's not bad.
Goran looks at Lyri, looks at Spellbeard, looks at Lyri. 2 Bladebeards, it says in Dwarven.
No, only one, and he's fake. Obviously, it's magic.
I'm trapped in a jail cell.
2 Bladebeards. He like has this weird surprise, like, holy shit, this is the most amazing thing ever. Look.
Also, he can't understand Lyri.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Lyri's just talking in gibberish. Lyri gestures to like the restraints on her hands.
2 Bladebeards. So the paladin looks at Benjamin and says, "So is your friend a shape changer?"
Oh, well, that's news to me, but considering she just mouthed Endor's name, well, it has to be, right?
She also yelled out Bladebeard, but yeah.
Oh, right, and that's
Lyri will turn into Endor.
Can I get another careful from you?
Sure. She's getting worse. Oh my god.
I think what would happen is you'd think Andor, okay, evil. Oh, he's Embersorrow. Oh yeah, evil Embersorrow. Oh, you're gonna turn into your father.
Oh no. No one's gonna know who that is though.
Yep.
What does he look like?
He doesn't have a render, I think.
You did make a token for him, Zelris, but I don't think I have it uploaded on the thing. So
yeah.
I'll probably show the viewers in post if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Lyri looks down at her hands. Oh no, this is unfortunate. Does the elemental move again?
Takes one more step towards you, and another low rumble.
Are you done playing around? Or are you playing dress up like Bladebeard?
From the other cell, you hear the lady say, "Oh, this is gonna get good." The first soul burn, always the best one.
Lyri would try and change back into what she liked before. She does not want to be a dad.
Before meaning the high elf look or the purple look?
The high elf.
Sure. The elemental takes another ominous step forward and another low rumble.
Hey, can you let me out, God?
Nope.
I've got the silver mane to kill. I gotta save the city.
Don't know what that is.
How about you tell us why you killed 20 people?
I will blink.
Why did you kill 20 people? And
I didn't kill 20 people.
Then why are you here?
Because I was trying to check on the ogres because they were underwater.
Then why are 20 people dead and you in the jail cell?
Because when I tried to get to the ogres, there were guards everywhere and I had to sneak past them.
And you killed them?
No.
Then what happened to them?
They were already dead before, that's why the guards are there.
I can tell you that she freely admitted to her crime. Well, at least that's what the guard record said. Says the guard captain.
The guards can say whatever they want.
You don't have to believe me. Just, I'm the guard captain of the prison here. What do I know?
Well, I guess aside from that, why are you all fancy now, and why can you shapeshift?
What do you mean, why am I all fancy now?
Look at you. You don't look nasty.
I sense dark magics coming from you, says the paladin.
I looked nasty before?
That's a very nice thing to say.
I don't. Did you guys hear what I said? I said dark magics. I don't know if you guys heard something else.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, Bud heard that.
Okay. I thought like I may have said something else by mistake. My bad.
So is this Lyri or Bladebeard or who is this?
I don't think it's Bladebeard. He's not very easy to catch and imprison.
Bladebeard, says Gurin and points at Spellbeard.
He says Bladebeard in Dwarven.
Which is also Bladebeard. Because it's a name.
Those are two words
Well,
that have translations, probably.
I mean, that's true, but like, when like, for instance, Clovis Smith, I don't say in my language Clovis Fierar, for instance. Fierar means blacksmith. I don't say that.
I guess. Sure.
Well, if you won't be letting me out, I'll have to get out my own way.
Good luck with that, says the guard captain.
Well, if I don't, the Silverman are gonna escape, and I need to save the city.
I'll turn to the paladin, which I forgot his name again.
I'll write it in chat.
Is there any way we can, purify her? Maybe with this fancy book?
Lyri will immediately let all the void take over and try and do whatever.
Okay.
She's not being purified by no one.
You need to become light Lyri, okay?
No. Lyri won't let them have full control.
Okay. I think we should see what happens with that next session, because that is a big decision that you just made.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it your final decision?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
She needs to go save the city from Silverman. And then just suggesting she gets purified.
Yeah, when the city is all burning and you're like, yeah, I killed the Silver Maid and everyone else.
She's an upstanding citizen.
That's a very twisted definition.
What an eventful day. Night.
Yeah.
Early morning.
And we're all together. Yay. Unopposing.
Yeah, we're together again.
Yep.
Let's not get split up again, please.
Well, I will say like the sort of last shot we would end the episode on as Lyri turns herself over to the void is her like instantly changing back to the purple form and probably lashing out with magic. Like that's what
I view it like when the priests take out the Bible and then the possessed person goes crazy. That's how I picture it.
Sure. We'll see. We will see what happens. Anyway, aside from the technical issues in like the first hour or two, thoughts on today's session?
Really fun. We got a lot done.
I think that Piper is so far the most useful ally I summoned with this spell. I got a lot of from him, and also I finally got to play a damn pirate. I wanted to play a pirate since we started this. I finally stole something from someone.
Nice.
You stole something in the first episode.
But like sneakily, that doesn't count as piracy. I guess
yeah.
it does, but now I like force someone to give me their stuff for free.
Because you have a big, like, buff guardian bodyguard.
Yeah, it's
You
because
acted,
of him.
yeah, you acted more like a mafioso rather than a pirate, but sure.
Yeah. Technically, I'm not on the sea, but we'll get there. Baby steps. Baby
Baby-
steps, guys.
Baby steps indeed. And yeah, I guess I should mention, I guess two things are more as lore related. So yeah, the paladin is a lore character, Gerard Mace. He's
Is that the one from the manga cover?
yep,
I guess so.
yep, the very same one. He's you remember like in one of Kyrie's like sendings that she said you sent you like when she mentioned Teeironor, she said, "Oh, she's had bad luck with men, but don't tell her I said that."
Ouch.
Yeah, you can fit it into pieces there. But yeah, he's a manga character and he's very very tied to Teeironor. As for the little arcane elemental guardian thing, it's kind of lore friendly. Well, it is lore friendly, but I mean it's lore based. In the Day of the Dragon novel, when like Ronin goes to like Grimbato, he gets imprisoned at one point, and he's guarded by a weird fire elemental that acts in pretty much the same way as this thing does. And that's why I said, oh yeah, Andromath heard it from a report that some Kyritor mage got from Grimbato and devised his own spell about it.
I mean, it's basically the mentor from Harry Potter.
I have never seen Harry Potter, so like, sure, is that thing from Harry Potter? Sure, it could be. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke, obviously, but it's
Yeah,
it's basically that an evil spirit that guards prisons.
sure. Again, I just don't have any clue, so I can't say, oh yeah, it's that thing, or oh no, it's not that thing. To like say, yeah, I'm sorry. What?
Maybe the thing from the what did you say, Day of the Dragon, or maybe that thing was inspired by the mentors. Like, I think there is a pretty big chance. And then
I mean, Day of the Dragon came out in like 2001 or 2000.
I mean, when did Harry Potter books come out?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. But yeah,
I think 2000, 1990s, about that time.
I think this might be true, and if it is, it's pretty funny that the creature from Harry Potter book was created first, and then some Warcraft writer was inspired by that and created this creature, and then you were inspired by that and created this guy.
Sure, maybe. I'm not saying no. I just genuinely do not know. The Warcraft writer is Richard Knack, for context sake, which I guess we're like referencing a lot because Thierry and Gerard Mace are also Richard Knack characters.
Wow.
Is the Death Knight that he said he fought the one in your profile picture?
Yeah. Well, I guess pre-Thompshire render, but maybe post also. Yeah. Ragnarok Blood Reaver.
I'm
No.
glad we all got back together. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm
Does
sure
anyone
it's gonna
believe-
last.
Does anyone believe Spellbeard?
I mean, I did not ask Bladebeard to roll sneaky because I assumed nobody would believe him.
Looks like Bud kind of believes
I mean,
in that.
I was expecting him to use his stunt, but he didn't.
Well, that stunt's always like, I always, when using it against other players, I'm always a bit iffy, but sure. He could have.
I didn't.
He did not. But yeah, I've also I've rambled enough about like, oh, here's the lore I pulled from. What are your guys' thoughts?
Who wants to go first? Skoll?
What's that?
I said, do you want to go first? Because you got your ogres back, kinda. Not really.
But did not get his ogres back, but he knows that they are supposedly alive and are at the harbor, which he can't get to them right now, so he can only take their word for it right now.
Oof. Yeah, like... It's just nice having everyone back together as a team. It was cool seeing Bladebeard do pirate stuff. And break some laws, so it's not just me.
Definitely was. Those guards, like the guards on like the other side of the door who didn't hear the screams and all that, are freaking morons, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you managed to get out of that so easy.
I mean, that's what this character was created to do. So, I hope that I was able to get away with it. I have a couple of aspects that helped me, so.
True.
Slightly surprised still that Gurren hasn't sabotaged you more than he already has.
Oh, he's terrible. Yeah, I guess, I thought that he would be very good at fighting, but very bad at everything else.
And that's what he is.
He's not only bad. He's worse than bad. He's worse. He it's like he has minuses in everything else. But yeah, that's the point, I guess, of that character.
Yep. I
mean, he like goes out of his way to sabotage things that are not killing stuff.
Yeah, because he wants to kill stuff.
Makes sense, yeah.
I mean...
Oh, what a cool guy. What a king.
I mean, look...
I stand him.
I still find it funny that in his first appearance he crushed Bladebeard under the belt with a mace, but he's very, very good at one thing, and that is smashing things with his hammer, or just like being a tough son of a bitch. But he's an absolute moron otherwise.
Yeah.
Yep, indeed. But also, any thoughts on, I guess, the events of today and like the characters you've all met? Also, this is the first time I featured this render of Thompshire, Captain Thomas, and which I don't think even Thompshire knew the name I assigned to that render.
Oh, is this the one that Thompshire's been talking about for like ages?
No, what?
You were like, I don't know, I feel like you mentioned a guard that you had a render for that never appeared. Maybe I'm going crazy.
I know that there's that one guard that is friend of Benjamin's. That was like, he said that a year ago I was posted in Glenaias, and I have a theory that he's a Worgen, but he never appeared since that scene. Yeah, there might be a Worgen who's a friend.
He's literally just the generic guard, but without a helmet. So, and then aside from that, I just made a generic male and female guard without the helmet, and that's where this guy came from.
Like I know Thompshire marketed them as such as generic guard, but if they have
it's not really a generic guard. It's more like, hey, here's two guards without helmets, so I guess they could be characters.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's just.
I mean, I made the male one a character, yeah. and he's a corrupt son of a bitch, but yeah.
I can't believe he didn't kill Andor. I know he's escaped.
I mean, like, from the very first moment you guys captured him, like, my thoughts were, I mean, it's obvious that he's gonna escape, right? The players know that, right? That he's gonna escape, right? This super master rogue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't expect him to escape that fast.
You should have at least like blinded him or break his legs, maybe cut off his tongue.
I mean, I honestly have a bigger grudge against Clovis at this point.
Yeah, Clovis is worse.
Yeah. We're gonna make him eat rocks and then we'll throw him into the sea.
Andor was like a complete pushover. We like knocked him over, just me and Benjamin and his dad.
Yeah, he's super weak.
I don't think he was super weak. I feel like he's
I
got
know.
really good rolls.
Yeah, he's probably like a boss level character.
I mean, like, you guys would notice that there's, or at least there were, 5 people leading the Silvermane. I find it kind of interesting that you assume there's one leader. Or at least that's what you said in character.
Well, he at least acts like the big boss, maybe, you know.
Shrug.
Or maybe it's just personal bias, I don't know.
Zelris, I have a question for you. Ideally, like, say everything goes the way Lyri wants at this point, what's the end result you want from Lyri from activating, like, giving into the void?
She wants to break out of the cell and kill anyone who might be part of the Silverman.
Okay.
Right.
And
So everyone in the city?
I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what she'll do.
I think Lyri's a little bit paranoid.
I think so too. That's why we're gonna
I mean,
forcefully exercise her.
she literally drew a card that made her insane. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And literally said
No,
insanity on
the
it.
card literally made you sane. That's the whole point.
All of her aspects are still the same, though. Just because she's an upstanding citizen doesn't change the fact that she's, like, you know, a scheming, insane bitch. She's just thinks she's doing it for, like, the greater good now.
Well, but don't worry. You'll be light Lyri by the end of the next session, so everything will be okay. Number 1 will defeat you, exercise all the void, and then everyone will compel you to menatap the tome, and then you'll become light Lyri.
Yeah, light will heal your scars.
No.
I mean, Gerard Mace is like a strong paladin, but he's not that strong.
But we got like a magic book, it's fine.
I guess you do. Oh yeah, you do. Oh yeah, that could actually work.
I have a master plan, okay? Light Lyri will happen, either you want it or not. You only have 2 fate points. You can defend yourself against all of us.
No, she has 1 fate point.
Oh, even better. Only 2 compels required.
But I will say, in the combat that's gonna happen, Lyri's consciousness and her actions will be 2 separate things. Because she gave herself into the void is controlling her actions, not Lyri.
Yeah. I just mean after we beat the shit out of them.
But I'm the one taking the damage if they attack me, so
Yep.
it's still the same thing, kind of. Just my rolls will be different, my numbers will be different, even.
And someone will be acting on your behalf, like taking control away from you. And
Could I, like, if I wanted to, could I, like, assist or, like, make advantages that could help the void, or is that, like...
Yes, but you would risk completely losing yourself.
Okay.
well, something to think about, and like something like I'm just spitballing here. I haven't like fully designed in my mind the combat encounter that's gonna happen. So this, what I'm saying now, is not the final thing that's gonna happen, if that makes sense. Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We will see. We will see. Yeah. I guess any other thoughts before we would go into our usual shoutouts?
I just want to say I like the fire mage. She's cool.
Oh, the like the Defias looking one.
Yeah.
Did like that when ogres say very similar things?
That's an interesting connection you've made. I'm genuinely surprised you made that connection.
I'm very smart, guys.
Wait, what? What did you say?
That's just sorry. Yeah.
Basically, remember that place in the Badlands Lyri got teleported to, and she's technically the slave of one of the ogres there. One of the other ogres there is somewhat kind of possessed by a fire elemental, and it's slave of the fire elementals. And he's had some very similar lines as this crazy mage lady has had.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah. So any other thoughts, I suppose, before we will go into our shoutouts?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well then, dear viewers, thank you as usual for watching and listening to us. Let's see what these lovely people are up to, starting, according to the dice, with DoomGoblin. Could you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you are doing?
Yeah. Hi. I'm DoomGoblin. I draw stuff. Yeah. That's about it.
He does. He's great at it. Check his stuff out. Highly recommend. Thank you very much, DoomGoblin. Next, according to the dice, we would have Skoll Shorties. Could you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you are doing?
Yes, I can do that. Hi, I am Skoll Shorties. I make videos on World of Warcraft mostly. I talk about the lore. I talk about what the lore could be. I can talk about spoilers. And I also make machinima. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm working on stuff slowly. Now that Dragonflight I've finished leveling in it, and it'll take me a little bit to get that stuff out there. But I plan on covering the recent short story that came out regarding Rathian. And maybe I'll do a review on Dragonflight. I'm not sure about that one, but that's what's in the pipeline at the moment.
Thank you very much, Skoll. Do check him out. Okay. Next, according to the dice, we would have Zelris. Could you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you are doing?
Hi, my name is Zelris. I make World of Warcraft stuff occasionally, sometimes. And you can see it on Twitter or YouTube.
She does great stuff. Check her out, please. Thank you very much. Next, we would have Sir Thompshire. Could you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you are doing?
Sure. You can find me both on YouTube and Twitter, and as always, I haven't been doing much, but I at least posted a render dump whenever last episode was posted. But yeah, I'll try to get back on the rhythm of it and hopefully post it more often. And I'll stop making promises about machine. I'll bet I'm better off just speaking when there's actually something for it. So yeah, that's it.
You are too humble. Thank you very much, Thompshire. And I was your dungeon master, game master, Teeironor. I do this series, which is a ton of fun, And I also run another campaign set in a homebrew universe called Legacy of the Rimland. That's also a lot of fun. It's kind of funny, like you guys are facing giant death robots and all that, but since Legacy of the Rimland is much more low fantasy, they've just faced a basilisk, which does not sound impressive compared to like giant fell robots, but it is, my opinion. Anyway, other than that, thank you once again, dear viewers, for watching and listening to us. We'll be back next time on Skoll Shorties channel. If we ever delay the episode, I'll keep you guys posted on my Twitter. I haven't made any alternative social media accounts yet. I probably should. Anyway, yeah. And we will see you there. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.